Welcome back, Nuggets. This mother clocker's got some thoughts. Let's ruffle some feathers and get into this live stream. Hello, everybody. My goodness, I don't think I've ever had so many messages before a stream as I did for this one. So this is going to be interesting. A lot of people don't know who we're covering. That's okay. I'm going to tell you what you need to know. Some people in support, some people very not in support. So this is going to be interesting. Hello, everybody. Who have we got in here? Hello, Veronica. Hi, Dippy Fresh. Hello, Rex. Hi, Gwen. Hey, Dammy. Oh, no, you're not a member anymore. Oh, sad. Hey, Benita. Hello, Furball. Welcome in, everybody. Hello, Darkwick and Cramblings. Thank you so much for being in and modding today. I appreciate you, my amazing mod team. Hello, King. Hey, Mel. Hey, Joy. Hello, hello. Hello, Pimiento? It's a cute name. Hello, hello. Hello, Promise I'm a Human. Hi. Welcome in, everybody. How's everybody's week been? Hello, Dancer Gal. I can't believe how many hatched chickens there are now in the, like, you know, the badges for memberships. It's amazing. Would probably help if I put Twitch chat on. Hello, Atlas, over on Twitch. Welcome, welcome. 6 budgies in a trench coat. Hello, Four Paws. Hey, Beauty. Hey, Cece. Okay. All right. So if it's okay with everybody, I would like to just do a little bit of housekeeping before we get into it. I won't take up much of your time at all. And for the replay nuggets, I will give you a time code, because if you don't give a damn about my shit, that's okay. I'm fine with that. Oh, hi, Mummy. Oh, don't know how I feel about that. Am I okay with that? Yeah, I'm a mama hen. All right, I'll accept it. Okay, so I just want to say, I don't want to bring everything down really hard right at the beginning, but I'm going to. If you detect anything miss with me today, I am unfortunately going through a bit of a grieving process. I'll just say the chickens are fine. Chickens are fine. But I got some bad news. Oh gosh, my voice. I got some bad news earlier this week that the dog that I dog sit a lot is having to be put down, and it sounds trivial when you say it's a dog I dog sit, but when I say I dog sit him, I essentially have visitation rights to this dog. He's part of the family. His real parents travel a lot, so he's pretty much with us for a third of the year, and it's hitting us pretty hard. So it just, you know, I'm not that great of an actress, so if you detect that there's anything just a little bit off, that's all it is. So I'm dealing with that at the moment. Oh, and talking about it, I'm like, oh, hello, Be Like Water Baby. Welcome in. This one's iffy for you. You've heard he's quite litigious, but you hate his guts. We'll get into it. Yeah, thank you. Hey, Joke. Thank you, everyone. It's okay. I'm not looking for sympathy. I just wanted to explain that if I seem off, that's what's going on. And it's also why I wanted to not do Girl World today. I sat down and I started editing another Roz live. And I'm just sitting there going, I can't deal with this today. This is too much. So I think, you know, a little bit of distance from Girl World, little break, and then we can resume. I tend to get like this when I'm grieving, by the way. I get a very low tolerance for Girl World. Also, the other thing that I wanted to make mention of, so at the moment, my schedule is very, very tight. So tight that if any life happens at all, it all goes to hell in a handbasket very, very, very fast. So the biggest problem factor that's going on is my Sunday/Monday stream. Its placement and its prep placement tends to be the thing that suffers the most. So what I'm going to do, and I'm also not putting out anywhere near as many videos as I want to, and I don't necessarily feel like that this constantly overworked, overstressed version of me is giving you the best content that I can do. And I feel like there's been some inconsistencies, and I feel like you can probably hear how stressed I've been. I don't feel like it's super great. But anyway. Cramblings, thank you so much. Being a member for, you've been a clucker for 3 months. You're using your milestone to say that while B Meow is on his couch on your desk, Albert is strapped to you, keeping him off the keyboard and gasses me SOS. Thanks so much, Cramblings. Yeah, so what I'm going to do to just alleviate the schedule a bit is not make that Sunday/Monday stream locked in as a constantly booked one. I want to make it just a little bit more fluid, and when the schedule allows for it, I can do it, and when it doesn't, I don't do it, and I'll just keep an eye out for it. But the weekly Cluckers stream on Wednesday for me, probably Tuesday for some of you, will remain untouched always, and this one always works really well as well, so I don't want to touch this one either. But yeah, just kind of moving forward, after December, after the big move, my schedule will chill out a little bit, so things will go a bit more back to normal, but hopefully that's cool with everyone. It's really just in the name of making sure that I'm delivering content that I'm proud of, and not constantly being as time poor as I have been. So yeah. Always take a break when you need one. Don't want to be a burnt out chooker. No, I've been there. It's not. Is a burned out chook a roast chook? Or a barbecue one? Oh. Anyway, let's get into this episode. Thank you so much for bearing with me there. Now, for my mods who are in there, can we make a note of the time code at about 9:30, so 9 minutes 30 seconds? People are going to keep coming in asking the same questions, and I'm about to cover pretty much everything that they're going to have, so then they can be referred back to that time code, and yeah, we can go from there. So what you need to know about Caleb Hammer, if you're not familiar with this person, my goodness. Oh. This is a very, very large channel. I've actually seen every single episode except for the members episodes that he has done. And I've been watching this show for a while. Now, the format of the show is basically that he gets people on, he learns about who they are, what they're doing, then runs through their finances and does a budget for them. It's very kind of minimal financial work. Like, it's largely common sense, but I think sometimes when people get themselves into massive amounts of debt, it's just difficult to see your way out. So that's what he does. However, he also references himself fairly regularly as Caleb Hammer, and Caleb Springer, and that's because he does do a little bit of that Jerry Springer vibe on his show. He makes fun of people. He kind of like torments them in a way, roasts them and whatnot. But what I will say, what he does is he actually has an onboarding process that he gets all of the topics that are fair game from these people. And all of the topics that are basically a no zone. And he doesn't go into the no zone. Now, historically, he has been really good at sensing when he's gone too far and backing off. But something has changed this year that I feel. Because, like, I kind of feel like if you're a consenting adult, I personally don't understand why you would want to go on a show like this. Because you're going to be made to look like shit. Like, look at the thumbnails for these people. Like, you're a racist. She can't find out. You, cluck you, and then N-word that is cut off. No clucking way. He's something to me. Cluck you, Caleb. This is insane. You know, it's all just making people look as horrible as they can. It's evil. Geez, they've used the no clucking way a lot. I didn't notice that. But something that's shifted this year, the format has pulled away from doing like 20 minutes to half an hour of learning about who they are and how they work. Hey, LV, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. he's pulled away from just doing that, and now it seems like the format is like an hour of digging into their psychology and their behavior and their relationships and their shitty behavior and their phone, like going through the phone and things like that, and then it's like half an hour at the end, which is finances. Now, the issue that I have with this is that similarly to Rachel, very similarly to Rachel, Caleb has a very limited life perspective and experience, and more to the point, he has problem getting out of his own experience, out of his own head, and seeing anybody else's. So for example, what I mean by that is he's really open-minded to things like depression and anxiety because he has an anxiety disorder. So he's really accommodating of that. But, for example, somebody who has decided that they would prefer to live a life outside the US, he gets so triggered and fully undermines and puts down everybody's goals, right? So the issue that I'm bringing today, because I have been a fan of this show, but I feel like last week he stepped over a line. And he's also been getting into a lot of relationship counseling. This man has no business doing relationship counseling. He has no business actually doing anything outside of finance. Yeah, very Keemstar. It is a bit, I don't know if he's, it's a slightly different flavor of Keemstar. He has no financial education, no he doesn't, but I will say what he does is largely just common sense, so he doesn't really need it. And he brings in specialists when needed and things like that. So it's fine. That side of things is fine. Although one thing that I've always had a problem with Caleb about, that he and I would clash so heavily on, is he only sees one viable way of living financially. And that is pretty much full-blown capitalist. And as we know, a lot of the world doesn't necessarily work on the capitalist structure. So there's not only one way to live, but he can't see that there's another way, which is really funny because he comes after Dave Ramsey, another financial person on YouTube, saying that he only does it one way. Well, so does Caleb. So I'm really interested to hear what you all have to say about the episode that we're going to watch today, because I was listening to it, like, just as a viewer, nothing more. I wasn't planning on covering this, but King, you and I have that in common, but I felt, I was actually working in the caravan at the time, and I felt something was different here. And while he does call out people's excuses and their behavior, and a lot of the time I do agree with what he's saying, something felt different about this one. So this is a huge channel, by the way, and they put out so much members-only content. It's like constant. But yeah, 3.3 million subscribers. I actually started watching him when he was under 1 million, now that I think of it. So it's been a while. But yeah, this episode that we're going to watch today is called The Biggest Losers Ever on Financial Audit. And that's what this is labeled. We're not going to watch the whole thing because it's an hour and a half, but we're pretty much the stuff that we want to talk about today, because the budgeting is kind of not what we're looking at today. Pretty much happens within the first 45 minutes / up to an hour, basically. And I want to know what you think. I really do. I'll also put out there, I know that he would label our community as woke people that watch too much TikTok. I have no doubt. No doubt at all. So yeah, for, you started watching Vera before 1 million subs, not to brag. I love your optimism. Thank you. Yes, you were excited about his channel when you first saw it, thinking it was some tough love, but you soon couldn't stomach the content. It started as tough love, right? He's been shifting gradually over time and getting a little bit more and more comfortable with making fun of people. And like I say, you know, consenting adults going on there doing what consenting adults do, it's fine if you want to get up there and be roasted by this guy who has next to no life experience. It's fine, do that. But like I say, I feel like there's something different about this one. So Hates goths. Goth Chukan army assemble. I didn't say hates goths. So can I also just make really clear that I am not at all slamming people who like this show. Like I say, I watch this show. You're allowed to like and watch who you want to like and watch. This is not about saying we should cancel Caleb Hammer. I'm just kind of low-key surprised it hasn't happened yet. That's all. Okay, all right, shall we get into it? I will skip all of his ads that he puts in too, because my goodness, they are, for a guy who's trying to save people money, he's selling an awful lot of shit. Oh, also, I will say, Cruel Mind Happy World? Is that, whoops, can't type. Is it Cruel Mind Happy World? Happy Mind, Cruel World. Ah, what am I trying to say? Cruel World, Happy Mind. We got there. It's fine. She actually did a whole video on some of the allegations that have come out about this man, including like SA kind of things, and some other issues. So if you're interested in seeing her take on it, she's got a video on him. Anyway, moving right along. Yes, he does shill AI slop stuff. He, not so much now, but he did absolutely go through a big, now he's advertising just his app that you have to pay money for, his courses that you have to pay money for, his loans that you have to pay money for. It's just like, it's constant stuff that he, yeah, you watch theirs and D'Angelo's. D'Angelo is probably his biggest reaction channel that covers him. I haven't watched their stuff though. Okay, you don't know who he is, but you're already icked out by him. I will just say, yeah, he does loans now. He does. So, one thing I will say, that anybody who has trauma regarding an invisible chronic illness and people not believing them, you may find this a little bit triggering. Go into that knowing that, okay? So this is oh, thank you, Cramlings. Cruel World, Happy Mind, my goodness. Who's getting loans from a YouTuber? Are they okay? Desperate people who put their trust into YouTubers. That's what. Like, financial insecurity can make people do some very, like, take desperate measures, basically. Yeah. Okay, let's get into it. We'll see what you think. I'm really interested to know, genuinely, all of your opinions. I'm sorry, it's muted. I can never just have a seamless transition, can I? From Clucker's streams to this one. Okay, there we go. There we go. We've got it.
Your credit score is actually 4.
I didn't know that was possible.
I didn't either.
He's a loser.
Well, he was the bad boy, yeah.
You're getting shamed for not doing the dishes, even though she doesn't do anything all day. Your life sucks.
Are you gonna let him say that I don't do anything all day?
No, she does do a lot. She's actually
you're whipped. Oh, I hold people's hands when they cry, but a little bit of pushback on you not meal prepping and it brings you to tears.
I feel like I've ran our household by myself for so long, and he has a ring. I don't know if I'd say yes tomorrow.
I just launched the brand new Hammer Elite app, available on every major platform.
Mason, for a living here.
I actually sell car keys. I just started this business.
Actually sell car keys?
Yeah, car keys, key fobs, remotes. If it starts your car or locks it, I can make a dupe of it.
Well, why was I like supposed to be surprised? I actually sell car keys. Okay, like, yeah, you have a job.
Yeah, most people just don't know you can get it from not the dealership.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You sell car keys. Is this a commission-based thing?
It is commission-based.
Very good. You're the salesman.
Yeah, I'm the salesman. I make the keys as well.
He's going into his pitch right now. You can move on.
Anyways, yeah, hopefully I'll be running my own business in the next year.
What business?
Sorry, are we not balanced? My apologies. The boys are saying hello. Thank you.
Car key business?
Yeah. So it's called...
Are you
What-
talking about you being a franchise owner?
It's
So you're not starting your
That's
own
what he's
business.
talking
You're
about.
opening
Yeah.
a franchise.
Basically.
Which, I mean, yeah, that is like,
Yeah.
you're kind of in the business owner sphere there. Definitely very close to it. Actually, I mean, I would say you are, but that is different. You're not like starting something from scratch and building up.
Yeah.
You have a
No.
model that works, so that's different.
Yeah, so to clarify, making fun of people is his shtick, right? It's his thing. It's what he's become famous for. It's what people go on the show for. And everything that is discussed, they have consented to. So do keep that in mind. Like I say, I feel like he crosses a line in this episode, specifically to the woman that is on the panel. Although I would support lowering their volume even further and adding to conceal. Yeah, but it is hard to take if you're not used to the constant roasting that he does. Yeah, it's a lot. But he does have a whole onboarding process. That's the only thing I'm going to give him credit for in regards to this particular topic.
Exactly.
Well, okay. Well, there'll be lots to talk about there. That'll be interesting. But what are you making now?
Right now, anywhere's between 500 and
Wait, pause. You've had the job for like 3 weeks. How the f are you telling me you're going to open a
Like-
branch?
5.
You're going to
Well,
open
yeah.
a branch? You've had this job for 3 weeks.
yeah. The goal is in 6 months, I'll be
6
running my own
months, you've
van.
had
Oof, and he's sexist. Not surprised at all. Not just sexist. There is a lot of fun and different coloured bigotry involved with Caleb, although he will swear black and blue that he's not.
for 3 weeks.
No.
How do you even know if you like it?
Actually, he does. His manager and him, he's
Yeah.
mentoring him. He's already been promoted. They have like
Yeah.
a track
In
with it.
3 weeks?
I agree with you. I think it's
No,
ridiculous.
everyone's like fucking smoking meth there or something. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
You're not promoted. What are you talking about? What's this promoted you got in
So-
3 weeks?
When
So
you
week
start
one,
off,
wow, you're incredible. Run the whole thing.
you start off with sales.
Which you
only.
still do.
Yes. And then you go into actually programming and cutting and making the keys. And then you go into running the
That's
van.
labor. That's just like basic fucking
Yeah.
labor that you do at a factory. That's not like,
Basically. But,
okay.
but after I do that,
None of this is relevant to the point that I want to make, but I feel like skipping it is going to remove some of the context and like make it difficult to follow if I don't have it in there. So that's why we're doing this at the moment.
for a little while, then I'm starting
A
inventory.
little while. A little while. What do you mean starting inventory? You've been there for 3 weeks. What do you
Yeah.
mean little while? This
Yeah.
sounds like you've just been trained to do the job, not being promoted
Basically.
multiple times. You're just unlocking new things you're supposed to be doing for.
See, this kind of calling out behavioral and like the way words are used, this kind of thing I don't have as much of a problem with at all. It's when he gets outside of his like realm of experience. Like I say, very, very similar to Rachel, and there is behavioral overlap with those two people, and it's the same criticism that I bring to her. He has an inability to be able to see that there are any viable ways of living. Sorry, my throat. Outside of what he himself has done. And the problem is the way that he's handled his finances, he's gone from having literally nothing to having, I don't know, he's probably well into being a millionaire at this point. So he sees that as backing up his point of view, not understanding that this type of budgeting is not actually going to be beneficial to everybody. It's not like a one brush for everybody situation, but he doesn't bring any of that into it. You're basically going to do it the capitalist way, only the capitalist way, and anyway, let's continue.
The job. It's like if I was
Yes.
a cook, I'd eventually learn how to get to the fillet.
That
It's not
makes
like
sense,
I
yeah.
got a fucking promote. Did you get a pay raise?
I got more sales.
Why are you telling me you got a fucking promotion? You didn't
That's
get
what
a
I
promotion.
was told.
This dude's gaslighting you, or he's just excited about making keys.
He's excited and he
I-
has
I'm
This
a
is
very
you're
great
unlocking
excited
things in your in your training. That's all that's been happening.
Basically,
Don't go around telling people you're.
Yeah, right, King. And that money isn't happiness or even the goal for many. I've often thought, because Mr. Chuckett and I live a fairly alternative kind of lifestyle. We're going into a tiny home, for crying out loud. It's what it is, right? But I've often thought, I know that Caleb would say to me, well, I have more money than you, so I'm more successful. But he hates his job. He hates his existence. He's said that on his videos. I have more freedom than he does. So it depends on what your currency is, right? And yeah, he can't see outside of that perspective at all, which is what I say about Rachel too.
You're getting promoted, guy.
But it is a promotion.
How? No, it's
Because I wasn't able to do it before. And then I
No.
unlocked it, and now
It's not a skill
He has
tree in a
more
video
work
game.
tasks now.
I could see it being that, though.
It's not a job
Get him
promotion.
started on video games.
That's
It's been
fair.
3. Okay. Well,
Okay.
maybe I will. I don't know. Don't tell me what to
Anyways,
do.
in 6 months, I'll be running my own van. Hopefully, that is the
Van?
goal. So it's a van. It's a road
I'd
show.
love to just see someone that looks like you pulling up in a van in a neighborhood.
The worst part is
it's
it
at
doesn't.
Costco.
Yeah, it's at Costco. So Costco, Sam's Clubs.
They
We
work
go
as
there.
partners.
Partner with them. We sell the keys, make it in the parking lot. Costco is the one that actually gets
Okay,
paid,
good. Very good. All right. You unlock van at the end of your training cycle.
basically.
Okay, so you've been working for 3 weeks. How can we even tell? How can you even tell me how much money you make in 3 weeks? It's very difficult. Maybe it's been the best month for keys.
Yeah, it's definitely fluctuated.
He's
lot.
had
Fluctuated a lot in 3 weeks, so you can't even tell me.
It went from 500 to 900 in 2 paychecks.
Huh? For
Net.
what? Why do you
Just
keep saying
base-
things and making noises? What are you adding to this conversation right now?
I just don't think that he knows completely what he's talking about because he doesn't keep track of any of this stuff at all. So
Keeping track. It's been 3 weeks. What are we talking about keeping track? What track are you keeping? Have you even
What's that cash register ding happening in the background? It's when he swears. That's how they bleep him out.
how many paychecks have you received?
2.
Okay, what do you mean he's not keeping track?
well,
He said 500, 900. Where's the keep track?
He just sends them like over to me at the end of the day. Like there's no tracking as to what his check is.
Does he
didn't
know
his
what he got paid or not?
Yeah.
Is the 500 correct? Is the 900 correct? If he gave it to you, can you tell me?
It was 620.
Okay, for the first time in this entire conversation, I was actually talking to you and then you didn't talk. Because usually you're talking when I'm talking to him.
Sorry.
You said he
net.
sent you the paycheck. He said he got 500 and 900. Are those correct?
Yes, net. That is correct.
So why are you interjecting and saying, oh, he doesn't even keep track? I'm sure you don't guys, I'm sure you don't keep track of either of you, or else you wouldn't be on the show, let's be honest. But either way, why are you talking? You wear the pants in this relationship, am I right?
That's why we're here.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
I'm sure it is, you little cuck boy. Okay, so you walk all over him. I can already tell. You wouldn't even let me have a conversation with him for 4 minutes without you trying to make noises and
The problem with Caleb, I think that he sorry, just getting rid of there we go. I think that he's been doing this too long. You know how I've said before, if you're doing something and you get to the point where you no longer see the people you're dealing with as people, as humans, you've been doing it too long. He crossed a line at some point last year, I think, where that happened. And so he really needs to not be doing this anymore, but he's persisting anyway. So he's developed a bad habit of basically pigeonholing people as soon as he hears a certain code word, right? Like, so something will trigger him, they'll say something and it'll trigger him to go, oh, that's this kind of person. But we all know that everybody are three-dimensional human beings with complexities, with trauma, with opinions, with goals, aspirations, things like there's complexity to people. And oh, I'm sorry, Dippy Fresh. I'm so sorry. It marked as spam for me. I'm really sorry. Can I undelete it? No, I can't. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to delete it. It just marked as spam and I was looking. I keep an eye out for that because it comes up on Twitch all the time. I apologize. If you would like to repeat, go right ahead. So, what was I saying? Yeah. So now she's gone in and said, that's why we're here. And she's been talking and giving information. So now, now he's pegged her as a certain kind of person. I believe, to my core, and as we're going to go on, I think he's wrong about her. I think I know what kind of person he's pegged her as, and sometimes, to his credit, there are actually people on his show that do fit the mold that he's put her in, but this time I think he's wrong, and this time he doubles down, and I think this time it's rough. So what did you do? You pointed out that more money would allow someone to not live in a tiny home. Oh, no, the living in the tiny home, if you're referencing me, that's a choice thing. It's not a money thing. It's a freedom off-grid thing. Why is Mira always so right? Just way more articulate than me? No, I'm not. So, yeah, what you're gonna see... I know that because I've watched so many of his videos, I know he's just locked her into a pigeonhole, but you're going to see how it unravels more and more and more over time, and how he's just going to almost like a confirmation bias on his behalf to confirm that he's right about this woman. And honestly, I'm really keen to know what you think, because maybe I'm reading it wrong too. Who knows?
Interject and say stupid shit that I didn't care about.
He stresses me out because it's like,
you stress me out.
That's fair. We're all stressed out at this table then, because it just feels like it took 2 weeks of him just to ask his boss what his commission rate was. Like, he just didn't know that. He was going in blind. I'm trying to like
Why
budget
did you accept
for
a
us.
job without knowing your commission rate?
He didn't even.
I
wrong with
needed
you?
a job.
Yes. Ask what the commission rate is.
To be fair, I asked in the beginning. I told her.
You're gonna to be fair me? To be fair? Fuck you, to be fair. Know your commission rate going into the job before you make sales, to be fair. Okay, to
That
be
is
fair,
fair.
what?
I told her what it was in the beginning before I started. Yes. What
Okay,
the
so he
commission
knew
rate
it
was.
then.
He told me what the estimate, but what his manager said, here's the estimate of what most people make for me. It's around $1,300. That was the interview conversation. He has not hit that amount yet at all. And like, obviously he hasn't worked there that long, but like, it's not looking like it's going to be $1,300. It became, oh, well, they usually make $700 to $900 on a good week. And then it's, oh, on a bad week, $500, and we pay hourly. Oh, we don't. So I didn't have an answer. And this 14% was after his first check because we calculated it.
Okay.
So
It's just weird to me planning. You know, I mean, I'm already being told that you have a history of dipping out of jobs left and right. Is that correct? He has a history of that? Okay, then how the fuck are we planning our entire future around a job that you've had for 3 weeks if you're endlessly dipping out of jobs?
Right? Did he join a pyramid scheme? It does kind of sound like it, doesn't it? Caleb does dig into it later in the episode. I don't know if it's going to be in the part that we watch. It kind of is and it kind of isn't. I think this guy is just really bad at explaining what he's doing. What it sounds like is he's being trained to do a skill, and he's going to be allowed to work in a van and basically pay rental, like hairdressers will pay rental for their spot in sometimes salons have that set up, and be able to do his trade out of that van. He doesn't own the van, he's renting the space. So not quite a pyramid scheme, because it's not encouraging people to get people under him either. I think, he just, this man is a little bit of the weaponized incompetence kind of thing, a little bit. But yeah, I do think a lot of the issue is the way he's explaining it.
What is your history? What's his history of jobs? Rather hear it from you.
yeah, he has a habit of like not showing up or like being late enough that he just stops going.
Are you a loser, dude?
He also has a habit of just taking whatever job falls in his lap. He hasn't had a career path or anything that he's had a goal for until this job, which is why I'm like, I want to support you in this, because
Nice
it
to have a goal, but
seems
he's
like
been
you
there for
have.
3 weeks. Can we at least let it sit for 3 months before?
Yeah.
Because I bet if you have a van, I highly doubt they just give you, right? It's probably going to
Yeah.
cost
You
some kind
rent
of
it.
money. You
Yeah.
rent it. Okay,
Yeah.
so now you're like a
We
you're
found
like
that out yesterday.
a prostitute, and they're pimping you out.
It reminds
I
me
can
of an
see that,
MLM
yeah.
a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, like a pyramid type thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
May I have the whiteboard? Okay. How does this work?
How does what work?
Draw.
Okay. So you have a van at Costco. This is
Well, his boss has.
Yeah, he's already had a scandal. This guy will continue to make bad choices till it has consequences he can't mitigate with resources. So there is an SA allegation against him. I've heard the story. If it's true, it sounds really bad. He's basically just fobbed the woman off as a liar and trying to get attention, basically. So, I mean, who knows? Both are possible, but the story sounds plausible, but I don't know. I wasn't there.
One right now, but yeah.
well, so you would get a van.
Right.
Yeah.
Very good. That's you. Okay, so
All
your
right.
boss. Who's your boss? I don't even.
Anyway,
What's the context of? What's his
He's
role?
the owner of that
he's
van.
the owner of that van.
Oh, he owns the van. You're renting it from him?
No.
Yeah, pain in the axe. I don't hate Caleb. He's harsh, but that's the draw. I agree. His shtick is absolutely roasting people. I don't hate him either. This particular episode, though, why I'm covering it is I think he crossed the line.
No, he's not doing any of that yet. That's
No. In the
one
future,
day.
when you have your van, who's your boss?
Oh,
Not name. I don't need a name. It's not literal who
Yeah.
it is.
the company.
Yeah, just
Who's the company? He just wants to name all the names. I'm just talking about like,
don't-
what is the context? They own all the vans, or
honestly,
To be fair, I feel like he rails on people when they're not answering the questions properly. Sometimes there are people on his show that don't answer questions properly, but sometimes I think his questions are not communicating the exact information he wants either. Like, as soon as you get a neurodivergent person in there who wants to answer literally, you're going to run into problems, right?
I couldn't tell you.
you're saying this is your entire business in life.
Basically, they own everything. They own the vans. They own everything. They give you the van,
And the machines.
and yeah, the van, the machines, the inventory.
Okay, and they have more people under them.
Yeah.
More
So
vans?
All
they're
across the US.
nationwide. They're nationwide in Canada. Like,
So it's a franchise.
yeah.
Okay, so there's more vans.
See what I mean? I think he's just explaining it badly. I don't think it's a pyramid scheme necessarily. I think the guy, not Caleb, the other guy, I think he like legitimately doesn't know what he's doing like for a living.
Gotcha. And they all go to the company.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the main company?
Yes.
So you're the guy that you're using the van right now. Do you rent the van from him?
I don't rent the van
It's-
at all.
it's
He
his
rents the
boss's
van
van.
from the company.
No, I got that. So that's that. Okay.
He doesn't pay anything.
The answer would be no. By the way,
No.
Yeah.
That's all the fucking answer would be. My
Miriam, oh my gosh, I love you. Oops, just to make it clear, MLM equals multi-level marketing scheme. Not men loving men. there's a whole there's a bit of lore around Caleb where he's like a closeted bisexual because he made it public that in high school he experimented with another boy in his class, and he's settled on women overall apparently, but people, yeah, it's a thing. He doesn't consider himself bisexual, but I don't know if it has any bearing on anything, but it's a funny thing that you brought up.
goodness, you guys talking to you. Good death, people. Okay. So the answer is no. You do not rent from your current boss who
No.
owns the van.
Yes.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay. You rent from the van. Can you pay off company the van from the company? Can you pay it off, or is it a
No,
permanent rent
it's a
forever?
permanent rent.
Who owns the van itself, the physical asset?
I believe it'd be the company.
So no matter what, so it's not a franchising fee. You're always paying a rent for the van, so they own the van.
Yeah.
And his boss gets a bonus if he becomes a franchise owner. Suddenly he makes more money
Who?
too.
What boss?
his current
boss?
My current boss.
gets,
When he promotes me
like-
out and I get my own van, then
It's
he
like
gets
when
like
you
a
hire
kickback.
like an MLM, like
Kind of. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It sounds more like a franchise with MLM qualities than a pure triangle.
I actually think a lot of companies work this way. I know in Australia a lot of real estates work this way, where there's like a large company with the company name, but then all of the individual like shops, I guess, or whatever they're called, are owned or licensed, quote, not owned, licensed / rented from the main person, but then they get to keep all the profits. You know, it's I don't feel like this is an uncommon business setup, but it is absolutely set up to be the best for the person at the top, which is why it makes it feel like a pyramid scheme. Although, can we say that a lot of corporations are designed to look after the person at the top? I suppose you could say.
Because for what it's worth, I mean, you're just working directly with the company. You're not like under, like, it would have been very triangle to me if you were like under the guy that you're in now. Like, yeah, he gets a bonus for signing you up for the franchise. Okay, I get that. But if like he owned vans and you were using the van and renting it out from him and he was renting it out from the company, then yeah, it'd get a bit more triangle to me. But I think it's more on the franchise side, and they just make a lot of money because you're paying the rent. What's the rent for the van if you get the van?
I believe it's $300. I don't know if
They just
my
rent out all
boss
the
currently
vans
has 2 vans and he pays $300 in rent.
He
I
has
don't know
two
if
vans.
it's $300
He has
per
2
van.
vans and he has people working for the van,
Yeah.
working in the van, and you're one of the van guys.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think it's full pyramid-y. But it sounds like yeah, it's just, he's franchising. It's like franchising out of McDonald's almost, and you got employees, and he's just franchising out vans. So I wouldn't say that. I don't know if it's a good business to get into. I can't necessarily sign that. I wouldn't say it's a full MLM though.
I definitely think it's better than the previous jobs that he's had because there's been no like
What, that he
upward
quits
scale.
after like 4 weeks and never shows up and losers it out? Dude, you're 27. It's
a little longer than 4 weeks.
27. How many jobs you bail out and
It's getting very triangle to me is a funny way to say it. Welcome in, Yami. No notification. Shame, YouTube. Shame. Also, welcome in, Sewer Brat. Good to see you here.
by 27? You guys have kids? You've been together for a while, right?
I have, well, he has
Mickey
two
told me
kids.
before you
Yeah.
guys have been together for 13 years. He has 2 kids.
No, I have 2 kids. We've been together for 3 years. We've known each other
He was
for
my first
13.
boyfriend in high school 13 years ago, and we've known each other since then.
Why? He's a loser.
I was like the nerdy kid in high school, and he was
You
the
were?
bad boy. Yeah.
He was the bad boy?
Yeah.
How are you?
What was that? Oof, bad edit. I don't know what that was.
Look at you.
I have changed
No, it was a lot
since
different in high school.
What bad boy were you?
I was the party kid that everybody knew and was at every party.
Now you're just the drunk failure. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you
I
look
don't
at. I don't know if
Credit.
you
I
are.
don't drink anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he said it anymore. Okay. Great. Well, no, I was just saying you look at. So what can I even say you make? $1,500 a month?
It's
Him?
looking
What?
like it's gonna net about like 2,500. I'm hoping.
What?
And hopefully
How from the 900 and 500? How are you getting that number?
weekly.
Oh,
Yeah.
weekly.
Yes.
Okay, so let's call it 25. That's good. Sell
Yeah.
keys, I guess. Maya, what do you do?
I'm unemployed right now.
Okay.
I lost
Why are
my
you shitting
job
on
in
him
March.
for his job if you're unemployed?
I'm
Why are you
unemployed.
job shitting? Why are you shitting when he's bringing in the money? And I get it, he's a failure in a lot of parts of life, but at least he's bringing in money. You're the one
So,
without the job.
I lost my job in March. I have an autoimmune condition that flares, and I was in and out.
Okay, just another reminder here for those of you who have invisible chronic illnesses. This is going to be a hard watch because I know what you've gone through. I'll talk a little bit about my experience too, probably for the first time. But yeah, just be aware that there is a trigger warning on pretty much on this entire episode regarding that.
out of the hospital at the time, and
Why aren't you on disability or something?
Basically, to be clear, he might be about to voice throughout this episode your worst fear.
Something then.
I have applied for disability. We're waiting for an answer. It has gotten progressively worse over 7 years.
What is it?
So I have type 2 immune dysregulation. I can show you a video. That's the easiest way to explain, or like a picture.
Okay.
But it's like
Yeah, show me.
My skin flares to a point where like I can't regulate my temperature. I can't move. I can't take
Okay, well,
accommodation.
we're applying for every work from home job that we can, right?
I'm applying. Yeah.
Which means maybe you wouldn't be able to get disability. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I've applied. It says that supposedly you can still have.
Okay, so how long does a flare last?
It can last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, but right now I'm on. So I can take temporary medication. So right now my skin is a lot better because I'm on it. The problem is you can't take it long term because it like destroys your bones and like cuts your immune system real bad. I've already gotten like infections from that.
Well, I'm not informed enough on this to give a perspective, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I could shit down your
I
throat,
want-
but
That's about as tolerant as he's going to be in this episode. He starts off strong by saying, I don't know about it, so I can't talk about it. That would have been the right take. Stay there. He doesn't stay there. Spoilers. So it's tricky, right? And I'm interested to get your take because I might change my mind watching it a second time, but we'll see. And I'm interested to know what you all have to say. But how do we define, you know, when we, for example, when we look at somebody like Roz and we go, or Amber, and we go, you're malingering, you're milking this, there might be something there, but you're at the very least exaggerating it, or it's being caused by your weight and you're ignoring that, right? So we look at that and for the most part we go, there's something wrong here with what you're saying. And then I look at this woman, and at least my first impression was, I believe you. There's something very sincere about the delivery that she has throughout this video. And then I think the same thing about, you know, we did that paradise stuff. I look at some of the things that Roz has brought up, you know, around the gang stalking and the being groomed and things like that. And I look at that and I think to myself, I am having trouble believing you. But then I look at the victims on Paradise and I go, I believe you. So where is that line? What is it about people that makes them seem authentic? How do we know, like on a gut level, what's going on? Because we all seem to be dialed into the same thing, right? And I'm really interested. It doesn't feel like she's exaggerating. No, and she actually goes on, she's going to elaborate, but basically this entire, up to like this point, they're going to talk about her illness. And that's the vibe that I get. But yeah, it's an interesting thing to think about, I think. You're going to turn all of his furniture into bread. It's all fun and games until the mice and rats and cockroaches show up. Yeah. But keep that in mind, though, as we go through. And please let me know what it is about her that you either believe or don't believe and why. I'm really interested what you have to say. The girl's diagnosis, shopping, and extremely vague. Being diagnosed gives you a lot of knowledge, but not only the condition, but the meds and the illnesses and side effects. Well, the interesting part about this lady is she currently has a diagnosis of exclusion. Right? Like chronic fatigue or fibromyalgia. It's the thing that they go to where they're like, yeah, no, we know something's wrong, but we don't know what's wrong. She is still seeking a diagnosis. She'll go into that though. You've been on disability since December 2019 due to chronic illness. I have so much empathy for folks who have to navigate the system. It's not easy from a Canadian. Yeah, also not easy from an Australian standpoint either. And I can only imagine that it's so much more difficult in the US.
But then I might be bad, and or I could say, yeah, you're doing well. And then people in the comments will tell me, oh, no, she's just being a lazy piece of shit. I don't know.
Right. I would love to be working. I would love to be, I want, like, even when I'm working full time, like I'm working other jobs, like I want to be working.
What's it called?
Type 2 immune dysregulation. We are still looking for like the official diagnoses. These are like parts of it that I experience.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's not going to help us in this financial situation.
No,
okay,
not.
so you didn't get unemployment.
I did get unemployment. We have 2 more weeks of it.
Okay. Okay, so what's going on, guys? What are we talking about? Yeah, you seem domineering and controlling.
That's probably true.
Anyone else getting that? Legitimate question. I'm not like leading you down a path here of what I think. Domineering and controlling. The read personally that I'm getting on her is that this man has proven himself time and time again to be incompetent in several areas, so she feels like it's just going to be easier and faster if she talks for him. Not getting it? No. Heaven forbid a woman be assertive. Wait. What do you think Remily would say about a woman being assertive? Is that embracing her masculine side? Sorry, couldn't help it. He's a misogynist. Yeah. Like, I can tell you a lot about multiple sclerosis, the meds you take, side effects, and social and financial experience. Oh, Darkwick, I didn't know you had MS. I'm sorry. Wow. The more I learn about several of you, the more I'm just like full-on warrior right there. Amazing. He sounds like a wet noodle. So my literal brain was like, how does one sound like a wet noodle? Squish, squish, squish. I love it. So instead of addressing the man-child, it's obviously the woman's fault for having to deal with all the shit. Yes. And being with the type of man who does this weaponized incompetence rubbish, I could not. I would have zero patience for them because I'm not looking for a son. No, not just you. Anyone else getting a mental picture of a floppy spaghetti piece, or just, no, not just you. Anytime any of you say something like that, immediately I will get imagery with it.
Well, I don't know, but you're also not the one bringing in money. I don't know. Like, okay, so you sit, even if it's with the flares and shit, you're like, you sit all day.
I've been the main earner for like all
Most
3
of
years
the
of our
relationship.
relationship. My first one was 80,000, and then when I had like my own, I was contracting for a bunch of different marketing.
Now, I'll just pop in here and say, because this is not Caleb's experience, like, for the record, Caleb is currently in his longest term relationship, which is like under a year, and it seems to be going well. Good for him. But he has zero insight into what it's like to be in a fully enmeshed relationship, right? And something that he wouldn't be able to understand because of his own narrow worldview is that when you're in a partnership, sometimes somebody is taking on the role in one area and another person is taking on the role in a different area, and then sometimes it swaps. So Mr. Chukin and I, we have taken turns doing this, basically. He had a very high-ranking corporate job while I was building my corporate job. And I started at the bottom, worked my way up into a corporate company, right? Into like middle management. Once I was there, he then left his job and started putting his time into practicing his skill set around making, right? Because we knew that we wanted to move to the country. We knew that we wanted to exist as makers because living in the city and existing in corporate jobs was very much not for us, and was devastating our health, right? So then I'm the breadwinner while he's building his skills. Then we move to the country. I leave my corporate job. He's already established himself as a maker. He's the breadwinner while I start practicing my maker skills, right? And it's been this up and down, back and forth, because we're a team, we are a partnership, and sometimes that's what relationships look like. But Caleb isn't able to step out of his own experience where he has a very, very lucrative situation on YouTube, which he was in when he met his girlfriend. And so now he's the breadwinner in that relationship, right? So this is why I'm just highlighting that he needs more perspective if he's going to talk about these kinds of things. While he's in the realm of just talking about budgets, he's fine. And I get that he does his teasing thing, you know, whatever. It's his thing. It's fine. But yeah, it's just leaving that realm, and now he's doing like the last the last 4, I think he's done 3 lots of relationship counseling where he's pretty much out and out told people to break up. Vera saying exactly what I was typing out, so deleted my whole read, but yes. I'm sorry, I'm stealing your light. Thank you, spot on. It's not always a perfect balance in a relationship. Yeah. And to be fair, like when we're talking about, if we're not just even talking about the breadwinning, if we're talking about the other responsibilities that come into running a household, like the more domesticated responsibilities, the person who hasn't been the active breadwinner at the time is the one looking after the house and the cooking. So he and I have both had that role. And now we're in a homesteading sort of situation, and we're going to be moving even more so, like full on homesteading. We're both kind of doing everything at this point. But this is actually the first time in our relationship of math, 18 years, that we've actually both been doing a similar thing, right? And even now, it's probably still more slanted towards him earning more of the money and I'm doing more of the cooking, but I enjoy it, so it's fine. Yes, I hate that he assumes she's just sitting around all day too. Yes. Your hubby is the breadwinner, and I'm, quote, just stay-at-home woman caring for a severely disabled kiddo, an elderly parent, and I have no income, but our lives would absolutely implode within 1 week. Yeah, right? I love that word, just. Be like, what a baby. May I ask a triggering question, Vera? You may. Should I be anxious? Work is work. Homework is work. Can't stand how different flavors of work that life requires are seen differently or not as work. Yeah. But see, this is what happens when you have somebody like Caleb and Rachel. Sorry to keep drawing those parallels, but when you have such like focus and emphasis on success being how much money you make, when everything is geared around you know, how much money is being made, this is how you see the world, and it's not taking into account like any other sort of way of living. This isn't triggering. I was way more worried. What would either of you do if one were to pass? So it would be difficult for both of us, for sure. I don't want to get necessarily into the specifics of finances, but part of the security of moving into a tiny home is to enable the safety for both of us. So once we're moving to the grandparents' farm to also look after them in their old age, things get a lot more stable. And because the tiny home is of a movable variety, it makes it even safer again. But that's not all there is to it. If you don't mind, I don't want to get super into the specifics of finances, but yeah, there are contingencies in place. Both of us, although it would be difficult, both of us could survive financially and also looking after the household independently. I make it sound like we're really, really, keeping things tight because I like to be frugal. But the reality is it's just because all of the money is going into the caravan to get that happening. That's the point of it. And to get that happening, to look after the grandparents, to get that happening, to get a rescue farm, to, all of that. But yeah, I hope that makes sense.
Teams.
Okay, from the National Library of Medicine, by the way, it does say that obesity makes it substantially worse.
Yes. I appreciate that, but
you appreciate that. Well,
I appreciate that
maybe
there's
lose
a lot
weight.
of things that could cause it. And the reason I can't lose weight is because of the inflammation in my body. The inflammation marker is, so it slows down all your systems. So my IgE, the normal range is like like
If I looked at
4.
all you're eating, you're telling me you're at a calorie deficit every single day.
We don't eat multiple meals a day. We can't afford to.
That
So
doesn't. Well,
I
first
am
of all,
in a
yes,
calorie.
you can.
I'm in a
You
calorie.
objectively can, but
Well-
either way, does
So this is a criticism that I will bring to her. Probably one of the only criticisms I will bring to her is that she is kind of in that mindset where it's like, oh, I'm not eating 3 meals a day, so I'm not overeating. I mean, we've all heard this before a lot in girl world. It's not a thing. It's yeah, you know. But outside of this, you'll see what I mean.
doesn't even matter. Multiple meals a day. If I eat 2 slices of cheesecake
Right.
slices, then I'm over my caloric amount for the day.
I
It's not
am in a
necessarily
deficit
amount
every
of
day.
meals.
I promise. And
Well, your promise means nothing to me.
okay,
I've
well,
had it on this show like multiple times.
the
but
inflammation marker that I have, the normal range is up to 4.
Yeah. He's a dietitian now. At the same time, it's easy to overeat with OMAD. Also, speaking as someone who has had a dodgy relationship with food in both directions, I think I would be far more likely to overindulge with 1 meal a day. I actually think that intense hunger is not a good thing. I'm fat because I overeat, period. Oh, hilarious. Benita, thank you so much. 5 months on Twitch. My goodness. Time flies. I didn't think I'd been on Twitch for that long. Amazing. Thank you so much.
60 minus 15,000.
okay.
So it's like,
no, I'm just gonna literally have to take your word for
yeah,
it. But
you can take his word too if he'll
yeah.
speak up at
Sorry.
all. Like,
well, he's a loser, and
That's fair.
usually fat people make every excuse to be fat.
that's fair.
But including myself. So like I get it, but it does say literally a 5 to 10% body weight reduction significantly reduces flares for that type of
Look up
condition. So
hypereosinophilic.
I'm not gonna look up shit. I'm just gonna have to take your word on it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's like the question
See, it sounds like I'm going to take your word on it, but I don't really believe you is kind of the vibe that it's having here.
in the end becomes, so now what? Okay, you can't
So-
lose weight because the flare does that. The flares are worse because your weight is high.
So
I don't think just morbid obesity just
So,
exists forever though.
I agree.
No, there are conditions. I actually have one that can make it very, very difficult to lose weight. And there's also conditions that they are rare, I will say. It's not likely that you're going to have them, but there's more complexity to this. And I think why I feel so strongly for this woman is I can see that she is being put on the spot to, like, being demanded to answer these questions, and she's having difficulty articulating herself. And who of us have not been there? I know that there are a lot of different conditions in this community. And I will take the time. I haven't talked about this yet. I've kind of alluded to it obliquely, but I wanted to give some context because at least I can use my platform in a positive way. And I hadn't felt like I didn't want to talk about it before now because I was thinking to myself like, it's one of those things that's become trendy, and I don't like the imagery that comes along with it, you know, but like, look, I was diagnosed before it was cool, and I can tell you that if you have it, it is not cool. So I was misdiagnosed for 20 years with chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia, which is a frustrating thing because it's not really giving you the cause. 20 years after the fact, I got diagnosed with PMDD, and I have a fairly significant version of it, to the point where it nearly took out my marriage and nearly took me out as well. And it's been basically, my period has been devastating half of my life since, 13. And it took so long to get it diagnosed. And it's fully medicated now, which is great. And it's completely in control. But one of the most significant symptoms, aside from the almost like psychosis thing that goes with it, aside from that, the worst thing that I would experience is extreme fatigue and like full body pain. And I mean like some really extreme pain. And when it's at its worst and it's unmedicated, it would be the sort of thing where I would get dressed and I would be absolutely knackered after that. I'd just be exhausted and I'd have to lie down again just from getting dressed. And I had an absolutely charming young male doctor tell me when I was 20 that it was all in my head. So I think I find this, what Caleb does, and specifically to this woman, I find it very triggering and very unfair, because I know what it's like to have a condition that A, is invisible, and B, can't really be tested for. It's more of a pattern thing. That, like, you know, it looks like it doesn't exist to everybody else, and then to have somebody, and especially a doctor, turn around and not believe you, that is horrible. And it's why I'm so curious about, because my instincts, you know, watching Amber, watching Roz, I can see that the way that they describe their things is absolutely, like, there's a problem with it. But then the way this woman is going to explain, I can see that it feels more realistic. Yes, PMDD is not talked about enough because, of course, only uterus havers can have it. Yes, and what I really, really hate about PMDD, and why I did finally decide to talk about it on my platform, because who knows, it might help someone hearing my story. It's in the DSM-5. I clucking hate that it's registered as a mental health condition. And it's because technically so many of the symptoms manifest from a psychological or neurological perspective, but it's to do with hormones. It's not to do with the brain. It's there is a function in how the brain is interpreting one of the hormones, but I hate that it's, because as soon as you put that mental health condition on it, it's minimized. LV, if only. Yes, I still have, I am fully intact, as much as I'd like to not be. Yeah, not to be believed is difficult. It can make one question your insanity. It's fully gaslighting, especially when it's doctors. And then too, you know, I just stumbled upon this doctor, and she picked up the pattern, because you can see it. When you know what you're looking for, you can absolutely unequivocally see it's PMDD. And she told me, and she's like, this is what you need to do to medicate it, and this is what you need to do to treat it, which is why I'm so relentless with my exercise, because it's also part of the medicine, right? To keep everything in check. And she just did all of that, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, this is what life is supposed to be. And it's not until I had that diagnosis and that medication that I was able to start making the growth towards who I am today. It mattered. Bonita, thank you so much for gifting a membership. I appreciate you. Can we get some juicy peaches and chicken butts in the chat for Bonita? Thank you. Also, new member, there is a link in the pinned comment if you want to join our Discord. We have weekly Clucker streams over there. Thank you, thank you. So yeah, I wanted to share my experience. It is a really debilitating condition, and because of its nature, like mine, it hits like 10 days before you start menstruating, right? So I would get all of the psychological symptoms in that time. Then throughout the period, which is like a week, I would get all of the physical symptoms, which is the pain and the fatigue and everything like that. And then it feels like you need a week to get over the ordeal that your body's just gone through. So it's like, it's a large amount of the time. But then you get a cloaca like this, looking at the 1 week that I have that is decent and I can actually do things, and goes, oh, well, look, what's the problem? You're just sitting around for the rest of the time. You're fine now. That's sometimes how chronic conditions can work. And I just, when I saw this, wanted to kind of put it out, balance it in some way with my little tiny channel against his really big channel, to at least put some positivity out that You don't need Cluckwits like this to believe you. Oh, I love this, Sewer Brat. Anyone in chat who may be navigating medical issues, I know it's annoying, but don't give up. Absolutely, I second that. Make sure you keep advocating for your needs. Make those calls, book your appointments. Absolutely. Please get your voice heard. Getting a diagnosis so that you can get treatment is so important. It really is. It was life-changing for me. I can't express to you. I was gonna lose everything. It matters. Down by the river, thank you so much. You hatched. You're a baby chick. Thank you so much for being a Clucker for 6 months. Walk finished. All the LBs I left with followed me home. Next time, maybe. Oh, I love that. I love that. Yeah. So, all right. So with all of that, keep that in mind. Let's keep watching.
So
Like, that doesn't just happen to the human body.
it does when inflammation builds in your body. Your system, my system does not like digest properly. Like it doesn't function the way that a normal person's
Yeah,
would.
I know, but usually for people that have digestive issues, again, I don't want to speak too much on something I don't fully have the context behind. But even for people I know that have digestive issues, they usually have they have medicine they take to help with their digestive issues.
So I take like 6 medications right now for all the like things that this causes, right? But we don't.
And something that he's not taking into account that she has said is that the thing that is helping her is a medication that can't be taken long term. Mr. Chukin, I won't go into details, it's his story, but Mr. Chukin also has an autoimmune condition that if there is a flare, also the medication cannot be taken long term. You just can't. You can't do it. And that's what she's saying. So she's saying right now, I'm sitting in front of you. You can see I'm okay. But it's because I'm on medication that I can't keep taking. My flare will return. We're in the process of getting a diagnosis, but right now all of this is up in the air.
I don't know what the actual diagnosis is yet. I've been seeing a specialist and oncologist for the last year.
Well, Chad, you're just going to have to tell me because I'm just going to have to let her go on that one because I don't know. But
and this kind of cutting off and dismissiveness that he has is now going to accelerate.
He smokes cigarettes all day, every day. I think you guys can afford more than a couple meals a day if he's doing like the most expensive addiction that works.
Yeah.
So shut the fuck up with that.
I
can't afford to eat. Yes, you can. I can get you on a budget where you can eat.
I'd love-
and even still, with this lower income, you guys would be on food stamps. So like,
Neo, thank you so much. You've subscribed for 5 months. You finally have time to catch a stream again. I love it. Thank you so much. I thought you've been, haven't you only missed a week? I think you've been here, haven't you? And look, I have some very strong feelings about budgets and money. I enjoy being frugal. It's how I don't know, probably childhood trauma from the mother being so bad with money. But I enjoy being frugal with it. I enjoy funneling it into things that matter, like, you know, rescuing roosters. And I agree. I feel like if you're smoking, you're going to have limited empathy from me about a tight budget. I understand it's a physical addiction, but they are heckin' expensive. Have you seen how expensive it is to smoke? It's absurd. I cannot afford to smoke. Yes, grew up with a couple of years on food stamps. Nothing wrong with it. You do what you need to get by, and these systems are set up to help you out when you're in a time of need, and it's okay to use them. There's no shame. It doesn't mean you've failed. It means you're just having a little hurdle and you're going to need some help to get through it. That's all. And you will get through it. You're so glad you don't smoke anymore. You quit a year ago. Awesome. I know how hard that would be. Yeah, it's expensive. Better to go towards chickens, right, Yemi? Yeah. More babies.
like you'd be fine.
We were on food stamps until we got cut, and then when
Why'd you get cut?
I got my job, so we were making
Well,
too much.
now
at that
you're
point.
not, so get it again. It's
And see, that's the thing with this woman too. When she can, she is seeking work. She wants to be working, and she's been the breadwinner for 3 years of their relationship, right? So he's ignoring the fact that up until the point that he's seen them, she's been earning all the money, and this guy kind of sounds like he has not been earning the money. But because they're sitting right in front of him right now, and she's saying that she's unemployed and she's got a chronic illness that she's still trying to get a handle on. And by the way, when you know that there's something wrong with you and you're spending years trying to work out what it is devastating when results keep coming back saying, no, you're fine, there's nothing wrong. It's like, but if I'm fine, why do I feel this bad? It's a psychologically devastating thing to go through. And she is in the middle of this process at the moment. But the fact that she has had jobs when she can, that you've got to admit fully differentiates her from like what Roz is doing, for example, where she's literally just saying, I'm too disabled for a 9 to 5. There's no wiggle room in somebody like Roz's mindset where she's just like, no, I'm not going to work at all. This woman wants to work. This Clucker, it's not that simple. Just go get back on it. What a stupid thing to say. Yeah. And if she's sitting there saying that her autoimmune flares, I don't even know if he understands what autoimmune means. But if her flares can go for like 3 to 4 weeks at a time, realistically, who's going to be able to hire her? Because jobs need to be able to hire someone to know that they're going to be able to work and things like that. So that gets tricky, right? And the fact that she doesn't have a diagnosis, maybe it would be different if down the track she actually has her diagnosis, her medical professionals have a care plan, and maybe it gets medicated and maybe it goes into remission. All of that is possible. But like right now, she's essentially having to say to an employer, yeah, I might be gone for a month at a time. And that's hard. Roz is doing everything to fake mental health issues so she can get disability and not do anything. That's what it comes across as. It is. And, you know, I just saw her Instagram stories, and she's got her headphones on because she's got to leave the house. And it's the first time that she's left the house in like a month. Or a month and a half, and you know, yeah, it comes off as performative. I don't doubt that Roz's existence is really difficult. I'm sure that she's in excruciating pain every day, but she's also not at all doing anything to try and improve her life. And sometimes when you're in the grips of fear like that, sometimes getting a normie job is actually really good for you to be able to practice starting to fight the fear and not enable yourself to stay at home for 6 weeks at a time. No one in the US would keep her employed, not in Australia either, unfortunately. You kind of need a freelance job, right? When you're in that situation, like YouTube, where you can work when you can and don't when you can't. It's tricky. You don't know what YouTube is on that same or not nicotine. Oh, certain substances. I don't know. YouTube is changing their censorship at the moment, so I'm also not clear on what's okay at the moment. Be like, what a baby. Thank you so much. He's jaded, watched his other channel and liked it. Yeah, that's my feeling too. I think he's been doing it for too long. I think he's been exposed to too many different types of people, and cognitively, he's not dealing with that well. He's trying to pigeonhole people, and we all know that people have been trying to, like, categorize people's personalities for the longest time, and the reality is none of the personality tests have really stuck, because you can't. It's not as simple as just putting people into 4 or 12 or 16 categories, but that's what he's trying to do, and that might be indicating his own like burnout or being overwhelmed or whatever the case may be. But in this case, he may have done damage. in this particular case.
It's meant for people in your situation who are in hard times. I'm not against that. You can afford to fucking eat. Why have you applied?
Now, yes, we're waiting. It's pending.
Pending for how long?
For about a month so far.
Okay. And then you're on insurance, which still or your unemployment, which is how much?
I get 1,000 every 2 weeks.
Okay, yeah, you guys could eat. With that, you're at $4,500.
1,000 every 2 weeks. Yep, I could live on that.
You guys can eat multiple meals a day with significant meal prepping. I can get you guys.
We need
on
a meal
each.
prep. That I think
Meal prepping is everything. It is everything. That is how to get your budget down, and how Mr. Chukin and I live on $7.50 Australian dollars per person per day, including cleaning products and toilet paper and all of that. It's possible, but you have to meal prep.
Tell me you're not meal prepping. You're telling me you can't eat multiple meals a day? Then shut the fuck up. You don't
Do
get
you
to
want
play
to speak
victim.
to that?
You don't get to play victim bullshit on that.
So that's partially my fault because my job around the house is to keep the kitchen clean and shit.
It's not just that. It's not just that though. It's like
Hold on, wait. He's the one that's working. Why is he making the kitchen clean? You're sitting on your ass with flares. I get it, but clean.
Okay, see what I mean? I know this is going to upset people. She is sitting there with an undiagnosed autoimmune condition. She's been unemployed for a fairly short period of time, and in the scope of her life, a very tiny percentage. This is where I feel he overstepped the line. He's telling her, you're sitting on your ass all day, doing nothing, unemployed. Why are you asking him to clean the kitchen? Well, okay. Excuse me, I'm about to get sassy. Potentially because she understands that she is supposed to be taking the household weight because he's out there earning, but maybe she needs to feel like she has some help from a man who clearly is happy to use weaponized incompetence in order to get out of doing things. And she just desperately needs to feel like she's not holding everything together on her own all the time while managing her mental condition of knowing that people can't see what's wrong with her, of knowing that she doesn't have a firm diagnosis to hand to people, and probably as a woman who likes working, she might even be feeling a sense of failure at this point in time. And she just needs the help. There's complexity here that he just can't see and doesn't want to see. He just wants to label her as somebody who's finding excuses to not work, even though she's been working up to this point. Make it make sense. Did he get ripped one in the comments? Not in the top comments that I could see, but we can do a little scrolly down afterwards if you want. Yeah, you're gonna rage a bit. Yeah, I thought that might upset some people. Joke. In Australia, we call this man a gronk. I'm unfamiliar with that term. What? I think we call him a cluckwit. But not the cutesy version. Yeah, okay. Hold on to your pantaloons, everyone. Oh no! Oh no!
In the kitchen.
It's
Wait, what? No. Why is that your responsibility if you're the one bringing in the money right now?
because
that is his only responsibility at home.
His responsibility is making the money.
So that removes any responsibility at all in any sort of discussion in the relationship. This is an agreement, what Caleb's describing, and when I said that Mr. Chukin and I have swapped roles, from time to time, this is what we discussed. So the person who wasn't doing the major breadwinning was wholly responsible for the household. But that is a negotiation that he and I had personally. It doesn't need to be that way. It shouldn't be by default that whoever's earning doesn't need to do any household upkeep at all. Like, I would expect in this scenario, if I were her, I would expect him to, at the very least, not make more work. So pick up after yourself, return cups to the kitchen, laundry goes in the hamper, things like that. But yeah. More law drop. Vera doesn't use the term gronk. I don't even know. I've never heard this term. Like, never ever in my entire life have I heard that word. The fact that the husband wants to defend helping in the home and this jerk wants to convince him it's not his problem. Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna get a little bit worse too. Sorry. You heard it, men. All you can do is make money. No dishes for you. What year is this? You hope his girlfriend is being treated with respect because he doesn't understand basic decency. The guy, I think, just comes off as a bit of a man-child, but, like, that's about it. I'm sorry you do not like this Caleb guy, you fear. To be fair, I think this is probably the worst of what he's done. Yes, it gets worse. I mean, no, he's said some pretty heinous stuff, but this is the first one that he's done where I've gone, I need to do a live on this. So that's something, right?
Why can't you do it? You literally don't have a job.
I do it most days, and it's supposed to be under him.
Well,
and
meal prepping's a couple times a week. I don't understand why you aren't able to do that when you do nothing.
Because when I'm flaring, I can't do
Okay, but you're not...
Meal prepping a couple of times a week. I meal prep a couple of times a month.
Always flaring.
It's pretty constant.
I'm only not
honestly.
flaring because I'm on steroids right now, and I can't take them long term. And Lindsay actually came up with a good idea that I could potentially work with a doctor to take them for photo shoots or something that I can do like money for.
What?
I just
Photos?
I'm a
What?
I work in marketing. I have all of my camera equipment. I own a photography
you
business.
do the photo shoots.
Yes.
Yeah, so freelance work would be the best solution for somebody with an autoimmune condition, right? Or a chronic illness, generally speaking. Because you can set your own hours, you can set your own pace, everything's going to be at your own rules. Every now and then you'll come up against maybe a bad day, but it would be better than being beholden to somebody where they're saying, you need to turn up between these hours and you need to get this much work done. And especially if the autoimmune condition is causing any sort of physical issues, like she mentioned her skin, but he hasn't let her speak enough to know if there's other conditions like where she can't stand for extended periods of time and things like that. But yeah, freelance work would be the way to go. That's not prep, that's just leftovers. Right? I do bulk fake meat product prep once a month, so I'll make a month's worth of dinners in that at a time, and I'll also do 2 bulk lunch prep, which is like a vegetable kind of tomato-y based thing that we have for lunches, and yeah, I do that twice a month, so it's not that much. Like, it's a time investment when you're doing it, but then you don't have to do it for the rest of the month, right? You can tell where his mind went when she said photo shoot. Yeah. You have to be careful when applying for disability. So if she's done it like a month ago and she's waiting to hear, would it in America make it more difficult for her to get disability because she doesn't actually have a diagnosis yet? Like, is that going to be a problem for her? You can't eat the same thing like that? Oh, I love it. I've actually found it helpful for my condition to take it away from thinking about food all the time and make it more of a like a routine thing, a function thing. It's better for my mental well-being. It's also better for my husband's situation as well. It would. Quick question, do you have suggestions for meal prep? Because you can't. So when Mr. Chook and I used to eat meat, we would prep a range of things of like spaghetti bolognese, a curry, like an Asian fusion kind of thing, and also like hamburger patties. So it's like you can just pick and choose what you want to have. And then we would also have some like what we would call Clucker meals, where it's just like stuff that you can shove in the oven. But now that I'm doing the meat substitute, I do it in a format where it can be burritos, it can be burgers, it can be like a loaded potato chunk kind of thing. It can go on pizzas. So it's a dynamic thing that can become multiple dishes, if that makes sense. Yeah, so we exclusively meal prep at this point. And it just works well. I don't know. I hate thinking about like what to make through like every night. It's awful to me. And also, we've been experimenting a little bit with some not quite bulk, like making things for a month at a time, but like maybe it'll make 5 dinners and doing things like special fried rice and things that can be frozen and then reconstituted. So yeah, I don't know. There's so much you can do. There's so much. Yes, casseroles. I make a mean pasta bake. I forgot to mention that. Oh, and lasagna too. I don't know. There's lots and lots of things. But the thing is, when it comes to meal prep, you need to be willing to actually cook. I think that's where people fall down, is they want the convenience, but they also don't want to cook, and you run into problems like that. But like slow cookers, what do Americans call them? Crock pots. They are your best friend because you can just like chop up a bunch of stuff, shove it in there, and just let it go for hours, and you don't have to do anything. It's very easy.
Yes, to make money for us. Yes.
That makes more sense.
So I'm trying to find ways that I can work, but it's unpredictable.
Well, I mean, that's
and
maybe, I don't know. It's a very competitive market. You don't just enter it and all of a sudden be successful.
I have experience in it.
Everyone has, every Austin photographer has experience in it. You know how many there are? What the do you think you are?
Dude, she actually
I'm with you
went
on the
to school for it.
Oh, no one gives a in the arts. The arts is outcome driven.
Right.
No one gives a shit what degree or where you went.
Yeah.
It's
It's true.
It's the social media presence. Why are you guys pretending like see there's actually something I know about the arts and out there performing.
Yeah.
There is something I actually know about, and just hearing how arrogantly you guys are pretending like you know everything immediately makes me doubt everything you said about the medical.
Sorry, I just cut him off there. He's just saying, because of how arrogantly you're speaking about everything, it now makes me doubt everything you said about the medical stuff. See what I mean about the pigeonholing? He's looking for things to be able to class people in certain like types, certain categories, and then he knows how to write them off or treat them moving forward. Did anybody else get arrogant? Because I legitimately didn't. I'll go back and replay it if you need me to. I didn't get arrogant, nor do I get overbearing or what did he say, controlling from her. I'm not seeing what he's seeing in this. He's wanting to typecast them in a certain role and is just like forcing them into it. Yeah, she's confident, which is good. He's an arrogant cloaker. He knows about the arts. Oh, actually, no, he does know about the arts. He has a degree. It's an arts degree. So he does actually have some insight there, which is why he's speaking on it with such confidence. Yeah. Who the cluck do you think you are? The way he said that. Wow. Absolutely. Yeah, he won't let her defend. He won't let her husband defend her, and he goes into that. That gets a bit worse too. He just can't handle confidence or assertiveness. I don't know, because like sometimes he's okay, but I don't understand why he so badly wants to peg her as, sorry, that's not a good turn of phrase, is it? He so badly wants to make her into this kind of villain in this situation, and I'm just not getting it. I'm not, like, unless there's something happening behind the scenes that we're not privy to, but I know that the structure of his show is that he goes into these things blind. So they've been talking to his producers before the show. They have all the information and they will feed him information, but it just doesn't make sense, does it? Yeah. You think it's as simple as being sexist? Not disagreeing, just questioning. LB, we have a pegging thing going on. You mean clothes pegs, right? Like on the washing line? He wants to feel like a big man. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe his girlfriend emasculated him earlier that morning. Who knows? She has had an extremely reasonable answers for every shit. Every shit he threw at her. I agree. I agree. And this is not always the case. Like, sometimes, for those who don't watch this show, sometimes the people that they get on are completely ridiculous. Like, sincerely ridiculous people. I don't know where they find them. But it's like he's trying to treat her like she's one of those people. But I think she's been reasonably articulate. I just think she's having trouble answering things on the spot, which I empathize with. I do, because I shut down like that too. He sounds clearly angry, almost as if he's personally offended. Right? I'm glad that I'm not just making this up in my head. Yeah. Yeah. You think it's almost all sexism. Fruity has bigger balls than this guy. Is that saying anything? Yes, that. Yeah. You think he's mad she's not fitting his narrative about her? Yeah, you could be right. Yeah. Yes, yeah, 100% of it. Some of it's mind-blowingly ridiculous. I've actually had to stop watching some episodes because it's like, this person is clearly so challenged in some way that it's completely pulling away from enjoying the show. Like, they aren't either cognitively with it because of a mental like cognition issue, or they're like high or drunk or something, and it takes away from actually being able to do the budget. It's like it's not fun to watch. But yeah. Maybe he did have a bad morning and she's an easy target for him to beat on. But it's just, as we go on, my concern is that he could actually do some lasting psychological damage to this woman. I just empathize because I've been in her spot, and I don't know. Like, it took me a while to get over what the doctor said to me, and it still, even though I have a diagnosis, it still sometimes rings in my ears, and it pushes you to do things that are potentially beyond your breaking point, that it's not fair. It's not fair to put on somebody's shoulders when they're already dealing with a chronic illness, and especially the stress of going through getting a diagnosis as well. But it gets more. We're halfway through.
Bullshit. Because I'm not informed on that, so I'm not going to push back against it. But seeing how much informed you thought about how she's going to do in photography and she went to school, it's like, no, you guys are. So now I can't even trust your take on that medical shit. Because you just showed how arrogant you are.
Actually, this is something that he does jump to in a lot of episodes. He just, for some reason, wants to prove that people are lying. And to be fair, sometimes people are lying, but it's like he's hunting it. And this is why I say, I think maybe he's just doing it for too long. Maybe he's like peopled out. I understand. I got there when I was working in customer facing sales. It's a thing. It happens. You just get over dealing with people. But if he's at that point, he needs to stop. But potentially he's constructed a business where now he's got a massive team under him. So many people relying on him for their paychecks every week. And maybe he's in a place now where he can't quit. Hence, I have more freedom than him.
And pretending like you guys know everything.
I think you're wrong.
Drowning in student loans with massive interest rates?
Yeah.
I see it on the show all the time. People get a loan, leave their pay. Looked at that track life. You're not play with borrower loans, so you're not charge you more co-borrower. You talk to a real person. And times come 28. So you
now he's selling you
Brock tell you now is private like you.
No. Shush.
Entirely outcome driven. I think that it could be supplemental income for now. I'm not planning to start
how
a
are
whole
you getting
business.
clients? And what kind of photography? What are you doing?
Portrait photography, family photography.
Okay, yeah,
like
there's definitely none of that
neighborhood
in
pages.
the entire
Huh?
I've done it in Steiner Ranch before, neighborhood pages, posted as a photographer. I've gotten money from
and
that before.
everyone's doing that.
I know, but I'm saying
Like,
it's
yes.
that or like I need to do something. I need to.
If you're able to do that, why can't you
Restart
do something
income.
else?
Well, because in that specific instance, I might be able to take medication for a shoot, but
Ignorance. Why, if you can do that, why can't you do something else? So why, if you can't do a photo shoot once, why can't you just go get a job? That's what he's saying. How many people do you think run things like YouTube channels or just any sort of like freelance work? How many people do you think do that because they have chronic illnesses that realistically a normie sort of job wouldn't be able to be sustainable because of that? And like how it's this thing that bugs me, like a lot of the time when you have a chronic illness, rarely is it the case that the chronic illness is sitting at 100% severity, like all the time, 24/7. There might be stints where it is like that, but if you wanted to own up and you do suffer with a chronic illness, how many of you have good moments, like good periods? Bobay! Thank you so much, you hatched! I know, I was thinking about you the other day. Goodness, I feel so bad for missing so many lives. Hope everyone was well. I hope you're well too, Bobay. Thank you so much for being a clucker for 6 months. Have I told you I couldn't do YouTube? I've held over 80 plus jobs in just over 30 years. YouTube is its own set of challenges for sure, but like there's a lot of other freelance work, of course, but yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. It works well for me, but the only reason you were able to keep your job when you were most disabled by your chronic migraines, oh, me too, Miriam. It was because of the specific industry you're in and this specific organization you work for in that industry. Yeah, so you found yourself a really good little niche where you can exist and it works for you. That's amazing. I was actually doing a similar thing when I was in corporate because I had not been diagnosed with PMDD at that point, and you know, I get migraines way too often, but you know, it's a thing. But I was in a position where I had, see, my superpower is optimization. I had optimized that job so much that I was able to do a full week's work in 2 days. Nobody knew, but I was just able to kind of navigate around the weeks like that, and nobody knew. So I made it work for me, but yeah. You have good periods, but you can say being pregnant has affected your flare-ups massively. You probably have 1 or 2 good days out of the week. I'm sorry, joke. But see, somebody like Caleb would turn around and go, well, you've got 1 or 2 good days. Why can't you just go get a job? I don't know if you have a job, by the way, but my point being that chronic illnesses are oftentimes not just a 10 out of 10 all the time. Caleb doesn't understand this, and yet he's going to judge this.
Being able to consistently maintain a job with how the flares are and how severe they can get, that's hard. That's why I was struggling so much in my job.
Yeah, potentially, but you're discounting the amount of work it takes just to even get a shoot on an ongoing basis.
I that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's ongoing. I think it's supplemental.
if you literally can't move when you're flaring, it's like, okay. Okay.
See, I feel like she's not in the moment, in the heat of the moment, able to accurately articulate what the experience is like. I feel for her because I know what she wants to say. I know how she wants to portray it, and I know that she's aware that she's not saying it right, but in the heat of the moment, right? People sometimes shut down, and it's something that I've taken years to try and train myself out of. I'm getting better now, but yeah, I'd call it turtling. It's like as soon as there's any sort of confrontation. It's like, oh no, brain shuts off, can't think. This channel has actually been helping a lot with that because I have to be so real time with it. So thank you, all of you. Legit, he's so clucking annoying. I'm triggered. Yeah. Does he want her to contribute as much as she can or not at all? I guess he wants her to either get a job or stay home and do all of the housework and stop just, quote, sitting on her ass. Yep.
You're getting shamed for not doing the dishes, even though she doesn't do anything all day. Rip you. Your life sucks.
I kind
Are you
of
gonna let him say that I don't do anything all day?
no. She does do a lot.
Oh,
She's
wow,
actually
you're
been,
pussy whipped. You're
Okay. Do you see why I feel like he overstepped a line here? It's not just about the clucking dishes. She used that as an example. But when you're talking about chronic illness, it's not just about the one thing. It's about the fact that she is probably struggling to get through every day, and she's like clawing her way through the days to get through them, all while trying to get the diagnosis and find a job that's going to work for her and manage this man that she needs to manage. Like, it's not about the clucking dishes. And then she turns around and, to her credit, says, "You are my teammate and I need you to support me." And then he turns around and says, well you're pussy whipped. Yeah. You're surprised she hasn't walked? Yeah. I gotta tell you, Mr. Chucken would not be letting him speak to me that way. It's, yeah. I don't like it. This is what rubbed me the wrong way. He's an eggplant. But I don't let this kind of guy trigger me. Some people just cannot see or understand what they don't know. When he eventually experiences some adversity, he will be quickly humbled. I agree. I do agree with you. I'm low-key surprised that people are tolerating him still on the platform, because this, to me, has, like, from my opinion, and this is subjective, right? From my perspective, I think this has crossed the line from roasting well into just out-and-out bullying at this point. And like I say, you know, I've watched all of his content. This is the first one that's made me go, I want to talk to you all about him. We have covered him before on my channel, but it was more about the person he was talking to, not him. Mr. Chucken deploys Iron Wall. You shall not pass. Yeah, pretty much. He's a good egg. Oh, completely unrelated, but I just got updated that a sweet little Silky at our local rescue farm just became a mama. Little baby bear. Oh, I love that. I love that. Happy note amongst this shit. He doesn't even know how badly you would dog walk him. You're gonna ask dumb questions. Let's get you answering some in return. To be fair, he barely lets people answer too. He has a very bad habit of speaking over people.
Pathetic.
Yeah, but she actually does do shit. The dishes specifically, these soaps that we use, flare her hands and cause blisters and shit.
She can't do anything.
No,
I really
that's what I'm
can't, and
saying.
it drives
She
me.
does-
I
what are you
want
gonna
to
do?
work.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do in life? Like, just it's like time to give up then, I guess. I don't know. I have nothing for you. If everything in this conversation is, well, my flares, it's like, what the f? Why'd you come to financial audit? This isn't flare audit. I can't help you with your flares.
I know.
Your body's that's not my I can't fix it.
I think it's ridiculous. My parents have offered to help us, like, pay for medical for me to go to Mayo Clinic. That is our next referral, and we're going. I know.
Okay, well, what can I do?
The problem is that during, like, this time, this is the first time in 3 years I haven't been able to work, and I'm not entirely sure that he will maintain us. I can't work very much, and I'm...
Guys, you literally told me you're not meal planning and meal prepping.
We meal plan. I'm not like meal prepping breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Why? If we're crying about not having enough meals a day, when with the unemployment, you guys do make enough and you'll get food stamps soon. And he smokes cigarettes all day and you're paying for ChatGPT and all this shit.
Also, something that I will say as well, I don't know how long she's been struggling with this. Sorry, I'll just telling someone with a chronic illness to give up on life. Oh my god. Yeah. Time to call it quits. Yes, Gwen. So telling her to yeah, that's something that's been popping up recently on multiple episodes. He said it to 3 people that I can think of. There might have been more in like the last month. Yeah. Like seriously. Something else that I wanted to bring up as well, like I know a lot of you would know, but for those who haven't gone through this struggle, especially when you're talking about things that hit your pain and your energy, sometimes when you're first dealing with the chronic condition, it can take a little bit of time to learn how to properly manage yourself, right? Your pacing. Sometimes you'll go too slow and let yourself dwell. Sometimes you'll go too fast and burn yourself out or cause more harm to your body. And it can take time to adjust to what your body requires and how to optimize it the best to get the most productivity, but also not put yourself in harm's way, right? And I don't know where she's at in this journey, because it kind of sounds like, I mean, autoimmune conditions are kind of random at the best of times with when they're going to flare and things like that. But it sounds like if she's been consistently the breadwinner, at least for the last 3 years, it's either new or she has just come out of remission again, right? So she might be in this weird transitory kind of phase where she's trying to deal with all of that and work out what's going to be best for her and how to manage the house and things like that. So that might be why she's going, well, I've observed that doing the dishes is a real sticking point for me and it really challenges me. And sometimes when you're in that mindset, the one thing that can challenge you can actually cause a halt to everything and cause a full blockage, which is why I like the just do the clucking thing, because like, okay, don't do the dishes, but go do something else, you know. But if she's saying like maybe the standing there is bad, she's saying that the dish soaps cause her skin to flare, you know, there are some solutions around that, but maybe it's just going to be enough to have him be a teammate and just do the dishes, right? I feel like too much emphasis is being put on this, and that's Caleb driving that. Thank you. She said her condition has been increasing for the last 7 years. And that's probably a back and forth, like I say, it comes and it goes. Autoimmune conditions can have periods of remission, and yes, Mal, this is exactly and why I wanted to balance it, right? With my itty bitty channel compared to his, but it's something. Now I'm thinking about all the kids with autoimmune disorders like her who watch his videos and how that would make them feel. Exactly. And what was his message? Go finish your chapter, essentially. Read between the lines. Just give up. It's not an okay message to put out there. He has 3.3 million subscribers, and this is the message he's put out there. I was wondering if watching it for a second time, if I would shift my opinion on what he's done. It has not. I think I was right the first time. Yeah, you were a kid with one, and that would have crushed you. I remember feeling, when I was 19, I was probably at my absolute worst with the PMDD stuff. And I just remember sitting there and feeling so incredibly useless as a human and doubting everything, because like PMDD wasn't even coined as a thing, I don't think, at that time. It definitely hadn't entered the DSM yet, so it wasn't even on doctors' radars. And so all I'm sitting there thinking is I have chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia, and I feel completely useless. And is this, made up, or am I just, being a sook about it and trying to push myself, but then like going to the movies with friends and having to be in bed for the next 2 days and things like that. And to hear your fears, your inner monologue and your thoughts said out loud by somebody like this, damaging. It's irresponsible. It's cruel. And you know me. Anybody who's followed me for any amount of time knows that I don't like excuses. I don't like giving into fear. I think, action is predominantly the best thing to choose, where possible, especially when dealing with psychological conditions. But realistic, like physical conditions, if you're somebody that can honestly say to yourself you're not seeking an excuse because you're scared, it's not an okay message to be putting out there. Yeah, he could focus on meal prep and working as a team, but instead he has to act like an absolute coat hanger. Sorry, the visuals. For the sake of being edgy. That's not advice. It's damaging, right? This message can cause harm. Hey, Willow, have to watch on replay? No problem. Yeah.
Yeah, your little addiction, by the way. Why the f aren't you meal prepping? Thank you guys. She has a real medical thing. This is how I'm reading it now, just with their arrogance and how they're not willing to cut back on things and just how they're doing it, and then they complain about the meals. If you guys haven't picked up on this, I am now. She has a real medical diagnosis, but she's using that to be a victim in everything in life.
Absolutely not.
I don't think she is. Look, we are all well versed in people who are using things to become victims. We watch these people every week. For some of us, every day. No judgment. No. I have heard very little victimhood language from her, and I do think that there's things that she could keep, like, there's realistically some actions that she could take. You're calling me out. Okay, how many people did I just call out? Sorry, chair wiggle. I haven't heard victim language from her. I do think that she could be squeezing a little bit more out of herself than she is, but that would be some very minor optimization and perhaps understanding where she's at and meeting herself where she's at. But I think that's probably more a coming to the terms with the chronic condition, more so than like using it as a victim excuse. Oh, Miriam. This absolute toadstool cow pie cloaca. That's one hell of an insult. I love it. You don't watch the girls directly. Yeah. Yeah, so disability is hard to get. It is here too. Depends on what state you're in, but yeah. Every time he tells her to shut up, makes you so ragey. Yeah. Yep. Hey, Creative Mama. Welcome.
Well, you have in this conversation so far, so prove me wrong.
It took me 7 years of dealing with this.
Oh, here we go.
To get to a point.
I'm sorry, did you just label that a victim response before she even got her sentence out? I think you did, sir.
Point where I could even like get to like not working.
Cool. I don't see how how does that make up for you being a victim of not meal prepping?
I'm not playing.
No. I know you all know. I know that I'm preaching to the choir at this point. I know. But how damaging is this message? It's not about the dishes. It's not about the meal prep. Yes, they should be meal prepping if they're struggling financially. He needs to not be smoking if they're struggling financially. But like chronic illnesses, especially autoimmune diseases, can get worse. They can flare, they can go into remission, and it's part of it. How can she prove him wrong when she can't even say one clucking word? He'd made up his mind before she even started that sentence. You see why I feel for her? I don't know. By the way, anybody who is disagreeing with my take on this, I'm very open to hearing other perspectives. This is my read. It seems like a lot of you are getting a similar read on this situation, but yeah, I am open to a discussion on this. I feel like I'm probably sensitive to it because I've been where she is, and I wish she had been able to articulate herself better, but it's not where she is. She was probably not prepared for him to dig in on the autoimmune condition. Meal prepping isn't going to out disable her disability. You would have walked out by this point. I refuse to be spoken over like that, insulted and belittled. He obviously doesn't actually want to help. He wants to paint her as a villain. Yeah, and see, it's probably the issue that I've had with his more recent episodes where we're talking like 2/3 or more of the show is talking about this kind of thing, or talking about people's relationships, or, you know, everything that isn't finance. And then this little quick budget gets done at the very end, where that's supposed to be what his show is. It's merged, it's moved, you know, shifted. I get that, but this is a really bad message. He just wants content. Yeah. And to be fair, you know, when you're talking about especially social media sort of things, you can start for one reason, and then you can like scale it up and, you know, give your audience more and more, and it can very easily become a beast that then needs to be fed, right? And it kind of becomes its own entity and moves on its own. They put out members only content every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. He's doing these shows 3 times a week. I think he's made a beast that needs to be fed, and I think he's burned out from it. And yeah, he needs to stop, because this is going to be harming people. Yeah, unless people can spend a day inside your own body, they have no right to tell you how to feel and judge. Yeah, I agree. And see, this is where I start to go, oh, but like, then what about Girl World? It's just how my brain likes to perceive things and think about all of the different perspectives. It's like, how do we know? How are we so sure? What is the defining factor that I could point to where we know beyond a reasonable doubt that Roz is making this shit up? And yet we believe this woman. Do you get what I mean? Do you see where my brain is going? It's like, how do we pinpoint these things? And then you've got people like Eugenia, who clearly have a serious thing going on, and she never talks about it. And that's believable too. Girl World is a different animal. Yes, it is. But yeah, it's interesting to think about, right? Meal prep is a big thing for this guy because he's focused on her weight. I don't clucking meal prep, and I've been underweight with a chronic illness my whole life. This man pisses me off so much. Yes. Yeah. He does get very fixated on weight. I think there's only been one person on there who said, don't talk about my weight, and then he accidentally talked about it anyway. Yes, Thank you. Yummy. Pattern of behaviors. This is probably it, right? It's because at first we did believe Rosie until the pattern of behaviors started to show. Yeah, we know too much. I feel she has that resignation in her eyes of not being believed. Yes. And this is why I was careful to do the trigger warning with the invisible chronic illnesses in particular, because I feel like it's so easy for people who can see something physically wrong, but the invisible chronic illnesses can really mess with you mentally. And I feel like I feel like my response would be to this, like, oh, if you don't believe my chronic illness, let me just go unmedicated and I'll unleash my full PMDD psychosis on your ass and see how that makes you feel. No, I could not. I could not. Nothing would make me not take my meds. Yeah. What happened? Can anyone hear me? Ah! No! Can anyone hear me? Am I back? Unhappy. Okay, good, thank you. It's just me shrieking in the microphone going, ah! My OBS lost connection briefly. Just make sure that the settings are correct. It looks okay. May have just been a temporary thing. Hopefully we don't have a repeat of the last time this happened. It just buffered for a bit. Yeah. I freaked out. No! Okay. So this is where I feel like he has shifted. Now, historically, when he sensed that he had crossed a line and caused actual tears, he has backed off. And in the example that I've done previously on my channel, it was with, I think it was actually his top rated, his most popular video, I think, with the blonde lady. Yeah, this one here. We did that one. Now, she actually did start to cry in that episode, and he fully backed off. He let her have a moment. She went outside, had a bit of a cry, came back. He was very empathetic about it because he felt that he had breached his roasting permissions, and he backed off. This lady is different, and this is like, what, a couple of years down the track, hundreds of guests down the track. He's gonna mock her. He's bullied her, he's made her cry, and now he's going to mock her. And so, to me, I'm noticing a behavioral difference in this man from how he used to be compared to how he is now. And like I say, he films like a couple of months in advance, so this one would have been filmed a couple of months ago. I think the ones being released right now actually were filmed in April. And I've noticed the ones that would have been filmed this year have started to shift, right? And so something's changed with him. Either he's hunting the views or he likes the rage bait and it's getting more clicks and he's literally just, you know, chasing the money. Or he's fully burned out and he needs to stop. I'm not sure. I'm not sure which one it is. It could be either. But yeah, your heart hurts so much for her. Oh, that's because you're a sweet, sweet person. Can I not highlight things anymore? What is going on? Sorry, I like my text highlighting. I think the disconnection caused some issues. Just bear with me. Whoops. I just need to refresh it. Getting you all back. There we go. Fix. Okay. Testing. No? Okay, apparently I can't highlight chats anymore. I'm sorry. I need to figure out what's happening here, but something has gone awry. I will read them though. But yeah, why doesn't the husband defend her at all? I would question the relationship at that point if I was her. That's kind of why I think he's a bit of a man-child, right? I don't know if he understands what it is to be a teammate. And that, you know, maybe her biggest issue right now is the fact that she's shacked up with the wrong guy. Yeah.
You to tears. Meal prepping. Meal prepping. It's meal prepping. Guys, it's meal prepping. I'm sorry, I can't have sympathy for tears for meal prepping.
It's not about the meal prepping. It's that I do everything in our house nonstop with this, and I'm being called the victim, and you don't do.
Yes, that. Caleb doesn't understand. Firstly, what it's like to have a condition that will go up and down in severity or long term. He does understand what it's like to have an anxiety disorder, which means he also knows what it's like to push through the fears. And I feel like that's what he's attributing to this same thing. But having an autoimmune condition and having an anxiety disorder are two very different things. And she is here in tears, devastated, because she's just saying, I just need to feel like I have a teammate. Yes, I noticed that this is working again, by the way. She isn't crying about the meal prep, Caleb, you absolute doorknob. No, it's not about the meal prep. She feels like she's doing everything. She feels like she was doing all of the breadwinning, and he wasn't doing anything. And then, when it gets to the point, when her condition gets to the point where she loses her job over it, she's still expected to do everything in the house, and she feels like she can't keep up. She needs help. She is here begging for help.
Do anything. You work.
He's working.
You finally got a job after 3 months of us wasting the $12,000 we had in savings.
If he didn't have a job, I'd be kicking his.
Oh, did you hear that? I didn't catch that the first time. You wasted the $12,000 we had in savings. Wow. I didn't catch that the first time. Yeah, so okay, so she's gone and found herself a teenager. That's a problem. I mean, the guy is clearly not at the point where he's able to be part of an adult relationship, and he needs to do some growing up. Little concerning considering he also has children. The gasp, you gasp. No woman can ever shack up with Caleb. He's got a girlfriend at the moment, a fairly long-term one. Yes, you think he forgot the main point. He's there to help. He is, but he wants to shame them all first. To be fair, he's always done that. Hey Caleb, why don't you harp on him for not pulling his weight? Yeah. Oh, but he's got the job. She's the unemployed one. He wasted $12,000 in 3 months on what? Yes, I don't know if they go into it. I don't know if he heard that because he was speaking over her. Casino? Yep, okay, let's continue. Let's see if they say.
His ass said he's not helping around the house, but he has a job. You don't. Why is it on him to deal with the dishes?
He didn't hear it. He didn't catch that, the wasting 12 grand. He was too busy running his mouth. He didn't hear it.
I'm sorry. If that's the big thing that holds us back from meal prepping.
He says that it's on him to deal with the dishes, and he hasn't done them in like 6 months. So I don't understand how that's his job.
Okay. He's pathetic for not doing it, but I'm sorry. If someone's not doing the dishes for 6 months, I just step up and do the dishes.
I do them. That's what
Then why are we crying about not being able to meal prep?
Right now, I can't manage our finances well enough to have money.
Shut the fuck up. I'm talking about meal prepping. I didn't bring up finances yet. I'm talking about meal prepping. You literally.
Cramblings. Cramblings has been making. I love this. Cramblings has been making more emotes. It's beer drop. It was 20, not 12. Sorry, I heard 12. 20 grand in 3 months. Kremlings, I love it. Absolutely spectacular, as always. It's via drop. So you can go exactly and then put that emoji. I'll put it in after the stream. Yes. Yes. Thank you. You're amazing. Yeah. Caleb, the meal prepping, why are you so obsessed? I mean, when it comes to budgeting, it really is a very important thing. I understand why it's forefronted. I feel for her because I feel like this has gotten caught up in the examples. What she's trying to say is indicative of a larger issue, and that's what she's trying to communicate. But Caleb is too busy running his mouth and thinking about what he's going to say, and the boyfriend or husband or whatever he is too passive to actually speak up and defend her in any way. And it's just yeah, 20 and he isn't isn't ripping on him for that at all. Yeah. Hello, Pratchett. Welcome in. I haven't seen you here before. They are just arguing in circles and he's not listening to her. So frustrating. It really is. And I feel for her because the message that she's trying to communicate is a really important one. And potentially she has been trying to get this across to her boyfriend. Did they say boyfriend or husband? Anyway, she may have been able to trying to communicate this to him for quite some time, and maybe she thought getting on a show and having a third party, back her up on this, it may have helped the communication, but that's not at all the way this conversation is going. It is the way the conversation should have been going.
Really pulled the victim card immediately 5 minutes into the episode about, oh, we can't even get 3 meals a day. That's because you won't do the dishes.
That's emotional abuse. That is cruel, what he just did. He just mocked her and then screamed at her. And he's not at all hearing her. I don't understand how this man is not in more trouble than he is. People love him. People support him. I don't get it. I don't even know. Maybe I should stop watching him too. Probably should. I would walk away too. But see, the thing is though, I would never go on a show like this because I know I know that my little inner chaos demon would pop out and start pushing his buttons. And if Mr. Chukin were there, he would be clucking with him too. No, it wouldn't go well. It just wouldn't. It would result in Caleb just screaming and in hysterics. But yeah, I agree. We would walk away, but we would never go on this show. We just wouldn't. You all you need to do is watch like 2 or 3 of these and know that this is not beneficial. And as for the budgets, like seriously, I could sit here and do the budgets that he does for all of you in very quick succession. It's not hard to do. It is overwhelming to do when you're caught up in debt and you can't see your way out, and it's nice to have somebody, break it all down into nice charts and say this is what you're going to pay first, then this, then this, then this. And by the way, speaking as somebody who was in bad debt and is no longer in any debt, but it's he's pulled fully away from that, and you can see what I mean. He's speaking outside of his realm of experience.
Dishes! I can't have sympathy for that. I have sympathy for your flare up and not working. That's why I haven't pushed back on that. I didn't say go get a job. You haven't heard me say that, because that's real. I have sympathy for that. Do I have sympathy of running a dishwasher? No!
I am doing that. I'm not saying it's going.
Then why aren't we meal prepping?
Oh, stop it. I hate it when people do that. The clapping thing? No. Also, why are we still talking about meal prepping? You know what? Here's what I'm taking from this. Good for Caleb that he's never had to deal with this kind of adversity in his life. I'm happy for him. He has had to deal with financial adversity in his life for sure. And that sucks. And he's overcome it, to his credit, extremely well. But good for him that he's never had to deal with a chronic illness or had to deal with anybody who has a chronic illness in his sphere of loved ones. And he's never had to watch somebody struggle through their day. Good for him. Happy for him. What does meal prepping and dishes have to do with money? Well, the meal prepping, in his defense, I agree, it cuts your shopping bill down a lot. Like a lot. Dishes? No, he just wants to call her a lazy piece of shit, essentially. She wants her partner to say something. You can tell the partner is the fan of Caleb and not her. I know, she's almost desperate, right? She's sitting there, look at her. She's sitting there and she's alone in this. When we need our next breather, I have added you on the Discord for your failed initial attempt with the liquid tool. Okay, I'll check. And also it's not flashy thinging me, which is bad. I'll have to look into that. I can't believe where, he's found two topics he's stuck on. Yeah, we are half an hour in and we haven't gotten past the fact that she doesn't want to do dishes, she wants him to help. We're fully stuck there. Half an hour in. In his old episodes, he already would have been going through their finances by this point. It would have been like 20 minutes. Usually 20 minutes. Sometimes if it was an extreme situation, he might go into half an hour, but definitely by now he would have been into it. Yeah.
It's hard for me to manage like all of our finances and try and figure out where we can get money to do that.
Meal prepping's time. Meal prepping's time.
That's
What do you
why
mean?
we're here, so we can get your budget notebook and all of the things that are supposed to help.
Oh my goodness, no offense. Yeah, it's nice. The 30-day meal plan's nice, but you know how to fucking meal prep. You're not individuals. God.
I'm sorry. This is the failed attempt. Oh no. What did you do, Cramlings? Oh my goodness. No. That's hilarious. I love it.
Guys, spaghetti and meatballs and sandwiches.
I can't eat half of that either.
Oh my gosh, why am I even talking to her then if she can't do anything? What can you eat?
It's kind of limited.
Hey, what can you eat? Was the question that you'll be answering. Thank you.
We have like a set list of.
Hey, what can you eat?
I'm trying. I mean, there's a lot I can't eat.
Okay.
I really need to pee, but then I was walking away and then he started that nonsense. Can I just say, the law on Caleb, his mother's a nurse. He likes to speak about it, how they went through great financial difficulty while she was studying to be a nurse, and then she got to be a nurse and everything was great and, happy days. She fought through her life and came out the other side. Good for her, by the way. But he is going to sit here and not understand that different conditions might need different diets. I would have thought personally that it's common knowledge that autoimmune conditions need at least anti-inflammatory sort of diets. Like, I don't know, but that's subjective, right? Assuming something is common knowledge is subjective, because for me it is. But yeah, and then he doesn't let her speak one word. He's just like, She's getting to it, my dude. Let her speak. Yep. Okay. Really, really actually do need to pee, though. I'll be back.
Okay, let's talk about what you can eat.
Okay, I can't have tomatoes. I can't have any nightshades.
I said can. Can, do you know what the word can is? Let's try can.
Okay, so like chicken noodle soups
Hey,
are
let's
good.
have her answer because, like, I don't trust you. You're dumb.
It depends on how much I'm flaring, but I can have things like soups. I can have like chicken. I can
easiest
have
meal
the whole-
preps. That's the
I know,
easiest meal
they're
prep.
really
Soup.
easy. That's what we've been doing.
What? You just said you haven't been meal prepping. Wait, only what 2 meals a day? We can only have 2 meals a day. I'm sorry, your tears are fueling me this episode because they
I
mean
know.
nothing. They mean nothing. When there's actually something sad that happens in an episode, I'm sad with the guest. Your tears are pathetic right now.
I have a hard time with this conversation because
Of not meal prepping.
No, not of not meal prepping. This whole
Well,
thing.
that's all we've been talking about for 20 minutes. That was disgusting. Control yourself.
It's just that, like, yes, there's a lot that I can't do and it sucks right now, and meal prepping is part of it.
Can we meal prep soup? You said you can have chicken?
I'm not
You said chicken.
Yes, we are meal prepping like for a couple of days, but it's not like a week of like stuff that
Unnecessary food, you spent $800. I can get you $600 at HEB with the meal plan and the cookbook for meal prepping for a month.
That would
so
be
shut
great.
the fuck up trying to come in here and cry, baby, that you can't have 3.
Yes, this is what made me basically want to do this episode. You're mocking the living shit out of her and laughs at her crying. He's literally sitting there laughing at her pain and frustration in this moment. You see why I just feel for this woman? Like, I'm just not reading any sort of victimhood from this woman. I mean, other than being a victim of Caleb in this moment. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm reading that situation. Maybe we're all wrong about this situation and he's clocked her and she's just an absolute useless piece of shit. I don't know. Maybe. But none of what she said so far would lead me to that conclusion. And by the way, he's saying we've been talking about the meal prepping for the last 20 minutes. It's because you've been talking about the meal prepping. You won't let her move on from that. I just... No. And a victim of her husband / boyfriend praying. It's a boyfriend, yeah. He has the same talking points as your mum, and that just makes you so angry. Oh my gosh, are you serious? Wow, I'm sorry. How are we supposed to know, though, she can't talk and won't stop acting, and he won't stop acting like a toddler? Yeah, I know. He's like, let her speak. Can I speak? He can't have her clocked, Vera. She's barely spoken a full sentence because he won't let her fare. Push-ups have killed your wrists. You're switching to rage crunches. You're gonna be jacked. Ooh, good motivation for a workout. I love it. Turning this nonsense into something positive. Yes.
3 meals a day. When you spend $800 a month for 2 people on food. Oh, she's gonna cry about that too. Okay, what are we doing? What are we
She's not crying about that. She's crying because you're bullying her. You're making her feel useless, and it's probably shit that she's been telling herself internally as well. And now you're verbalizing it outside. And that is really hard. That is really hard. And by the way, the main reason that I will never disparage anybody's art, because I know what inner monologue people have with their art. You don't need an external party adding to it in any way, shape, or form. It's fine. Just leave it there.
doing?
If it's not for you, it's not for you.
Am I the only one who's going to talk in this conversation or not?
No, I'll
we-
talk too. I just got told to shut up when I was talking.
I do want to say that I would like him to grow the cluck up, put on his big boy panties, and back his woman. That's his person. Look at the way she's looking at him. Oh my gosh. This is not new. I feel like she's used to this.
Okay. Here's the thing. For all 3 years of our relationship, I have been the main earner. I've worked.
What? Oh! Don't care, lady. Everyone check out this Angry Birds combo. She's explaining why she's upset and they put in this. This isn't Caleb doing this editing, this is his team. They're not even gonna let her say. I wasn't watching when I first watched this. I was in the caravan doing caravan work. I didn't know they did this. Don't care, lady. Everyone check out this Angry Birds combo. I care. Why am I vertical? You're in the short section. I'm streaming both at the moment. Can you imagine if she watched this back? She's about to pour her heart out. And they're like, hey, look at Angry Birds. We don't care. Nobody should go on this show. It's like, no.
Congratulations. Here's your reward. This is the best I can do for a gold star.
No, I don't.
What's the point?
My point is, I'm tired.
I wish I knew what she said there. Yeah, she was explaining why they're there and you don't care. And his team are clearly, like, this is clearly the culture he's fostered in his workplace, and he's okay with that. He probably endorses it and thinks it's funny. Can we Angry Birds his damn studio?
Tired of it. Like
Well, okay, well, congratulations. You're tired of it worked because now you don't work and he does. So it doesn't matter. Your dream came true.
No.
Am I being too mean? I don't know. But like, I was on your side until all of a sudden you started talking about things I actually do know. And then I realized you were just arrogantly being victims, which makes me just not, unfortunately, trust what you're saying about the medical, but I'm not informed enough to push back, so I don't really care.
Don't care, but happy to disparage it anyway and fully invalidate her entire living experience that is probably not very easy.
We had 12 grand.
And also, sorry for pausing, I'm just gonna say, who of us here have not turned to food in some capacity for comfort when we're going through a really rough time? And looking at Caleb, I will say that he's probably not unfamiliar with that either. You know, it's a thing. Chocolate feels good when we feel shit. It's not beneficial for us. It's probably going to make our situations worse. But you know what? In that moment, it feels damn good. Caleb.
From the inheritance that I got or tax return I have or whatever, and savings when I lost my job. He just didn't apply for jobs. So we spent all of that 12 grand during that time when I was actively clearing in and out of the hospital. Right, yes.
So knowing Caleb and knowing how he reacts, in other episodes with other people, he wouldn't have been okay with that wasting that money. He would have been writing this guy for, you know, you need to man up, you need to get a job, you know, like, I don't know what it is about this woman that he's just gone so hard on, and it's so irrational too. And like, 12, they did say 12 grand there, so maybe there was 20 somewhere else, but specifically she's talking about 12 grand in savings, and he just wouldn't get a job, so they just ate through it because she couldn't get one. And also, I'll just add that considering she said she's been the breadwinner for the 3 years of their relationship, that means she saved the 12 grand. That means that he wasted her savings. I would feel a certain kind of way too. You know, it's a partnership. It needs to be a team. If you're with your person and you've decided that that is your person and you're going to live your life with that person, you need to meet together as a team. You need to know beyond any kind of doubt that that person is going to have your back at every turn that you need them. And possibly even when you don't need them, they'll be there anyway. That's what a partnership is. And for my poly nuggets, a group ship. What do you call it? I don't know. But you still have each other's backs, right? But Caleb doesn't understand this. And I almost worry for his girlfriend because he's made many comments over his recent videos. Because like I say, recently they've really been different. That he's rich and a polycule. Oh, that's so cute. Polycule. I hope that's the word. He's been saying many times that he's rich and he's the breadwinner and he looks after his girlfriend, and like, what does that mean to him? Is she expected, if they live together, to basically then do everything for him? Because that's kind of how it's coming off.
He now
Which, sorry, I will say, is fine if she also agrees to that.
has a job.
Guys, do you hear me in this show? I've said multiple times, I don't give a fuck about what you have done. I care about what you are doing. What you are doing now is he has a job. You do not. I'm not going to criticize you for the job part, but I'm going to criticize you for what you do with the money that comes in. And what that is, I mean, you spent nearly 66% of the money you spent getting groceries. You also spent going out to eat. You're going to cry and bitch and moan pathetically about not being able to eat 3 meals a day, yet you go out to eat? Guys,
most of that's
what the
my fault,
this
honestly.
is first world problems. This is beyond first world problems. You're complaining about not getting enough meals on the table, yet you go out to eat?
We don't go.
What conversation are we? Oh, hey, woman, you go out to eat. You can't say that.
But you don't say that.
Shut up.
Like I was saying,
literally can't
most of
say
that is me getting food.
Hey, you're
while
a
I
part
work.
of it.
No, like we don't go out on date. When are you?
Date.
So he's getting takeout as well while he's out. She doesn't know about this. So, how do you eat through 4K a month? You're part of Girl World. You know how this works. Yeah. Yeah. She doesn't know that he's been eating out, which is a colossal waste of money when you're in a financial tight spot and when one of the party can't work and kind of needs to. You don't start getting lunch out. Yeah, she's pissed about it too. Yeah, she is.
It doesn't have to be a date to go out to eat. Hey, is McDonald's going out to eat?
That's not what she said. She said he's getting food without her.
Is Chick-fil-A going out to eat? Is Starbucks going out to eat? Is getting DoorDash of $359
Whoa. Would that be groceries? That's a lot.
going out to eat?
That was groceries.
Not all. We'll see.
Yeah.
Pizza Hut? Is that groceries? Is that going out to eat?
No.
I don't know. I feel like Pizza Hut, if I'm not mistaken, is not actually being made at home. I might have to be fact checked on that one. Comments, let me know.
I thought you meant like restaurants.
McDonald's,
Yes.
did you make those fries at home? Or was that ingredients you got from a store called McDonald's? So you want to come in here and look sad and get the sympathy of the audience and me for not being able to have 3 meals a day, yet McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, Starbucks, DoorDashing, and Pizza Hut are happening.
Do you want to see your grocery bill? I meant it was a lot for DoorDash. It's like a party. Why won't he acknowledge who the person is who's getting takeout? Yeah, I don't. It's so badly unbalanced.
Oh, yeah.
there
Again,
you
most
go.
of that is
no.
me.
You just got called on your shit. Sorry, you can't be victims when there's proof of you guys not being actual victims. I know that's a card you seem to have played your entire lives so far.
Wow, that was a reach. That was what? Your entire life? I get it. I get hyperbole for dramatic effect. I understand. But my goodness, this woman has not played the victim card once, to my standard, at least. Maybe you disagree. That's okay. But played it your entire life? You would so drop this, husband. Look, I think it's worth giving him a chance to grow up, but like, if this is a recurring problem that they've had for years and he's not fixing himself, that's an issue. The way she's staring daggers at him is... Can't say I would look at Mr. Chukin like that. Why is he talking like she is the only one who eats in this household? Because she's overweight. That's what he does. And, like, by the way, she's not She's not that overweight. The way he's talking about her, you'd think she was part of Girl World. Seriously. She's kind of like in normal overweight range, wouldn't you say? Like, I don't know, she's a woman. Yeah, after hearing how he wasted 12K of her savings, you can't. Oh, yeah, okay, fair. Did I miss something? You have to understand that eating out depends on leftovers can actually be cheaper than the physical and mental exertion it can take on someone in her situation. Yes, that might be true. Well, put it this way. From an Australian perspective, it's never cheaper to eat out, not ever. But I am aware that there are cheaper options in America for sure. If you were living in Australia, even with the the removal of the stress, it is so much more expensive to eat out, even at the cheap places. It's absurd. It's really absurd. Yeah, he called her morbidly obese. That's not uncommon for him. He loves to talk about the weight. He'll talk about his weight too, but yeah.
You're saying no, yet you just did it for 35 minutes.
That is not a card I've played my entire life, and that's not how I operate.
What?
Good for you. Stand up for yourself.
That's how you've operated in at least multiple parts of this conversation.
Yeah, I
disagree.
I'm in the part of my life for the first time I can't figure it out
I'm not criticizing the medical thing, but you're a victim. You're victiming on the food prepping. You're victiming on the budget. You're victiming on the income coming in, and them talking about the unemployment differently at the job you got fired from, but you still got unemployment anyway.
Okay, so I think his definition of what being a victim is might be wrong. Because to me, what I'm hearing is that she's saying, I can't handle this and I need some guidance and some help. That's not being a victim. Like, it might be a victim of the circumstances, but it's not being a victim. Does that make sense? It's somebody saying, this has gotten out of my control, and I'm here to help fix that. But the problem is, you can't say that's why I'm here to Caleb, because it triggers him so badly that he'll go on a rant about how everybody says that and it's such a cop-out and it's a cope. But that's the truth of it though, right? She's saying, I'm in this situation, I can't handle it, I need help. That's why I'm here talking to you to get said help. I just... You have a fun for eating out. That's why we have Clucker meals. We can't eat out because we're in the middle of nowhere. And it would cost so much. But yeah, we have little cheat meals like the special fried rice and things like that. I understand not being able to cook every day for sure. I know everyone was asking for a be right back peeing, but you made me think of toilets. And I have another break. Okay, all right. What's wrong with my be right back, Vera? What's it? That means I'm peeing.
You're a victim talking about not having enough meals, yet you spent enough for 3 people.
Oh, I think this is my favorite thing you've ever made. Oh dear.
People on groceries, and you also went out to eat for an additional $600. Yes, you absolutely did. Don't try to pretend like you didn't. I will not let that slide. There will be nothing productive that it comes from this conversation if you are not able to accept that you are being a victim. If you're not willing to accept that part of your behavior being called out, then you'll never improve ever in your life. Okay. And then what the fuck am I doing?
Right.
Speak, boy.
On what?
Something. She said you're not speaking, so there must be something there. In fact, unfortunately, when I look at you, I can tell there's nothing, but...
Honestly, I don't know.
Told you there was nothing. Okay, so you're the breadwinner. How much money were you making?
65 to 70, depending on where I was working.
Now, you were telling.
That's decent, right? Yeah, that's decent. I'm doing very vague math in my head. That sounds okay, right? I guess it would probably depend on where you're living, what your overheads are, how your lifestyle inflation has worked, but yeah. Hello, Kate Rose. Welcome in. It's not bad in America. Yeah. And so if she was holding that and essentially supporting both of them by the sounds of it. And like, does he pay child support if he's got 2 kids?
Pre-production that you had your last job for 10 months and you were stressed all the time, which led to the flare-ups. But you were in, I mean, no offense, and I have some of them here and they have the least stressful jobs. Marketing
is not stressful. The boss that I had.
Hello, my spider. Haven't seen you in here for a while. I'm so glad you're back. It kind of feels like Caleb is victimizing them. So, like, they are victims. Well, I mean, yeah, that's fair. Caleb's victims. Yeah. That is decent. I mean, depending on the city/state, it might be bad, but overall it seems pretty good. There is, I will say, an art form to minimizing your overheads, especially when you get used to certain luxuries and you feel like you need them. Although feeling like needing something is not the same as actually needing something. And whittling that down is a process of simplification for sure. So it is possible that maybe their overheads are higher than they need to be. We wouldn't know because 37 minutes in, we haven't dealt with finances yet on a finance show that is an hour 34 minutes long.
Had was
She
like crazy. She had
multiple people were going to the ER from this marketing job?
From the boss that we had, multiple people on my team all went to ER for stress-related incidents, yes.
What?
So it's another thing he's sorry. I'm shoving food in my face, and that's not good. So that's another thing he's gonna call bullshit on. Who here has had a shitty boss that's affected their health? Hands up. I've got both of mine up. Literally. I know you can't see it. I can, if I talk loud enough, the Vera hands will go up. Woo! No. Okay. Yeah. You can't deny that. Bosses have the ability to make your life so miserable that it affects your health. I had a boss once. No joke. I've had so many bad bosses. I had a boss once that she was mad at me, and I know this is going to sound unreal and totally ridiculous, but visualize this if you can. Sorry, aphantasia nuggets. She was upset with me because I hadn't met my sales quota, which, by the way, nobody else had. She got a chair, physically stood up on the chair so that she was over me. I was sitting down in my chair, by the way, and then scolded me for not making my quota. It was an extremely slow month. Your hands are all bruised up, but they're up. Oh, not you, but you're still pretty young. Here's hoping that you get a run of good ones. I really hope that for you. But they absolutely can impact you in a really negative way. They can. You had an assistant manager once fire you because I would do her fiance's job for him, but he got to work because they wanted to leave early that night. Wow. Yeah, there's some bad ones.
Okay,
and we went to
HR. Make sure you never hire anyone from that team. Sound like a bunch
Oh yeah, it's the team's fault, not the manager.
of pussies.
Oh no.
No, she was a bitch, and I never spoke to her directly.
Did you work there?
No, but I could.
Shut the fuck up.
Shit.
What?
I work from home, so he witnessed it.
Yeah.
And then
She worked from home.
Oh, we are talking about shitty people in the workplace. I'm next. Go right ahead.
And what did your boss do?
Took her credit.
well, she not only did she take credit for everything,
We went to the ER because the boss took credit.
Hang on. I want to give everyone their spotlight. Let's talk about bad bosses. I'm watching The Office at the moment. It's very fun. Also very triggering. I had a boss guilt me about having to close shop because I had to go to a funeral. Charming. I had a boss demand I stay back at work because of ratios, childcare, and after I'd already stayed back an hour because she wanted to go home. Oh. Yeah, there's some bad ones here. You had the police come in asking if you'd seen your boss lately. He hadn't been in for like 3 months. Jeez. The last job I had, the management was horrible. By the time I'd cussed every one of them out and walked out. Nice. That would have felt good. You lost a pregnancy. Oh, I'm sorry, full pause. You lost a pregnancy at 21 weeks and they made you come back to work 3 days after the procedure. Please tell me that it wasn't a female. I feel like a lot of the time it doesn't matter what the gender is because it's a shitty move, but in this particular situation, I feel like it's worse if it's a female doing it. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Jeez, even as a woman who doesn't want kids, I get that that's a horrendous one. That is so messed up. It is. Yeah.
No. She not only is working other jobs like while supposed to be maintaining this
Does
job,
that
which
give
is
you the stress to go to the ER? She had another job. I'm not okay.
We
continue.
picked up her whole workload. We had no training when I started.
Okay, these are basic job things that everyone has experienced out there. Continue.
Okay.
I had a boss cancel my small wedding 6 days beforehand because COVID standards had changed. And then they held a wine tasting event, no masks, for 400 people 10 days later. No. There are some bad ones here. Your first boss you ever had as a young teen groomed you. Lots of crimes were committed and you fear you were not the only one. I'm so sorry, Miriam. I hope they got their dues. Did I miss anyone? It was a woman, but one that didn't have kids or want them. That shouldn't matter. Speaking as the club of those women, it shouldn't matter. A very career-focused manager. Women can get very cold when they're in the career path, can't they? They can. Not all, but they can. The only job you were fired from, you were 17. You were like, that's okay, but you are gonna give me this, and this, or I'm calling OSHA. Sassy 17. Did he just self-snitch? Did I miss it? Do I need to go back? I'll rewind it a little bit. Oh, I just showed my age. Sorry. That reminds you of the time you were denied time off to go to your cousin's baby's funeral. Oh, so you took your lunch break to go to it anyway. So you should have. Do they have in Australia there is bereavement leave, so usually for funerals or like just grieving generally speaking, and there's not really a limit on it, but it's not paid either, but you can have it and you're not going to lose your job for it. I'll rewind a little bit. Wait.
Started.
Oh, okay.
We
continue.
picked up her whole workload. We had no training when I started.
Okay, these are basic job things that everyone has experienced out there. Continue.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the.
Yeah, so he has experienced bad bosses. He's so minimizing her experience. Like, even if you're the sort of person that's like, this is something that I can handle, it's not a big deal for me. Being able to have the ability to go, okay, this person that is in front of me is having a different life experience to myself, and I'm going to acknowledge that even though it doesn't rank on the severity level of my experiences, it clearly is for them because they're sitting across from me crying. Right?
she would constantly push off all of her work on us last minute. And like,
You've all experienced this, and so have I.
It says Hammer Media employees after one interaction with Micah? I don't know who that is.
I've experienced it. I'm not saying that it's like not.
You're saying
normal.
everyone went to the ER. I'm waiting for the thing that sent everyone to the ER.
It was constant. It was like, it's not like was.
To me, that says stress-related issues. So, like, if you experience high cortisol levels for long enough, it's going to start impacting your health. That's what it sounds like to me. The fact that she's saying it was everybody and not just one or two people says that this person who was in a management role was catastrophic to people's well-being.
It wasn't like a bot. Like, if I
and by the way, here's another bad story that reminds me of this. So when I was a team leader for a sales team, this was my corporate role that I had for a time. This may not surprise a lot of you, but I put my people first. I made sure that they had the best working environment that I could possibly facilitate within the company's regulations, right? They will work from home. I wasn't work from home, but it was a remote team. And so sometimes when you have a corporate entity, they put out things that they think is a great idea that's only going to put pressure on the staff that are frontline and ultimately do nothing for the company. So if it was something that I could get away with not implementing with them, I didn't want to add it to their plate, right? So I tried to treat my team the best I could, like individuals, like people, and make sure that they were comfortable in their role. We had this kind of like, it was like a KPI, but for staff engagement. So the questionnaire that went around to all of the frontline staff was basically asking how did they feel listened to? Did they feel like they were a priority to their team leader? Did they feel like communication was, passed on timely and sufficiently and things like that? So basically how their experience was with me. I was one of 2 people out of the entire country that got 100% on that questionnaire. And we actually both worked in the same location, but on different teams, she and I. And I was so proud of that, because to me, that's saying I've put my people first, and they know that I'm putting them first, and they know that I've got their back, and they know that I'm protecting them. And I was insanely proud of that. Do you know what my leader said to me? You know what, that's great, but how about we keep it quiet, because your result might upset some of the others. Cluck you, lady. Little, nearly swore. No. I wanted to celebrate it, and I couldn't help but feel that if it was anybody else who would have gotten that percentage, they would have been celebrated. Like, how dare you, in hindsight, how dare you squash my success like that? Yeah. Not surprising, thank you. Actually, I do try to treat all of you the same way I treated my team. Yeah, stress-related issues can cause heart problems. It really can. Yeah. She was jealous and didn't want anyone celebrating you. Yeah, I don't doubt, at least based on the results that I gave her, I don't doubt that she didn't get that kind of score. But she was not a good manager, not at all.
I dealt with a boss, that's fine. I mean, she was like pushing off projects, telling us we had 1 day to do them when it was like a 2-week project to make a book, like a whole thing to print and produce, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
No, it sounds like a shitty job, but we've all been in this position before.
It was a horrible job, and I kept it, and I did it anyway because we had to, as you said, right?
Okay, pop quiz for everybody in the class right now. What has the biggest impact on autoimmune conditions? Does anyone want to hazard a guess? She's not able to articulate properly in the heat of the moment, but this kind of stress, that's not going to be good for her. No.
I think you guys were in.
Yep. Oh, there it is. Stress. Then food. Yep, fair, Benita. Yep, stress first though. It's a really big factor for a lot of autoimmune. If not, I don't want to say all because I'm not especially knowledgeable on all, but let's just say all of the autoimmune conditions that I know of, that I'm well versed in, stress is a contributor. It really is.
Enabling each other. I really do in this victim mindset shit. I really do.
No, my team member who worked under me went to the ER she was in for a week and a half. She was admitted for like she had some stomach thing. They were saying if she doesn't cut back stress in her life, she's gonna have to
she
have
had a
surgery.
stomach thing. She needed to cutting back stress is a thing that is oftentimes given as a prescription to multiple things. That doesn't mean she was given that due to high stress, but you want to cut back on stress through a lot of things that happen to your body. Yes, that is very
Right.
common. Blood pressure, blah, 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 all of it. Cut back on
No, I
stress.
agree.
That doesn't mean stress caused it though.
Well, from my understanding,
Oh,
from
you
my
guys can never have a job.
No, her previous job, she held down for like,
yeah, I had my
multiple
last job
years.
for like
What's multiple
4
years?
4 or 5
Good to see you speaking up, sir.
years.
Okay.
multiple
Yeah,
years. Is
I
more
was
than one.
working as a contractor. So I worked full time for Canon, VMware, marketing agency called Innovatus, and a couple esports teams.
So why didn't you leave the job with your Nazi boss?
Because I didn't have clients anymore.
Because it's always such an easy option to just leave the job. Like, I fully endorse actively looking for a job while you have a job and trying to improve your situation. But, like, it's not always, depending on the industry you're in, depending on the climate you're in, it's not always just so easy to say, why didn't you just leave? That's like saying to people who are in war-torn countries, why don't you just leave your country? Like, it's not that simple. If it were that simple, nobody would be in shitty situations. That's not an okay to think. And like, all I'm thinking is that the social responsibility that Caleb has to have such a big platform, he could really make a difference with his platform. And all I'm thinking is this responsibility that he has to his dedicated audience. You know, what message is being sent? What message are they receiving? What are they thinking about themselves that he's saying about his guests? And he makes so much money off of these. He makes obscene amounts of money off of these. In fact, I might go so far as to say, no, actually, I'm pretty sure I could live for an entire year off of one of his videos. And this is what he's doing with it. You're homeless? Why don't you just buy a house? You reckon it's a red pill thing? He disparages that community, but it doesn't mean he's not listening to it, right?
Main client did not
What?
fulfill
No,
the
why didn't you go get another job?
I was applying the whole time I was there. I couldn't find anything that, like, I would go through interviews, multiple like interview processes, get to the final point, and they would say, you know, we would have selected you, but
See, this is what's concerning for me. With the notes that I'm given and what you talked about, the little side stream of income, that you want to keep being an entrepreneur, you want several streams of income, and you want to make businesses out of hobbies. I don't think you realize you having a bad boss, that was stressful.
She is trying to navigate a way around her chronic illness that she can actually still be a contributing member of society, right? That's how I interpret that. She's trying to find ways that will work, desperately trying to find ways. And yes, Veronica was still here. Not for too much longer though, because I need to get on with my day too. But yeah, it's like, it's not her trying to make jobs out of hobbies. And by the way, as somebody who's made jobs out of hobbies multiple times, not a bad way to go. Just saying. If you've got the dedication and the conviction to make it happen, great. Mr. Chookin's done it too. This kind of refusal to even try to comprehend other people drives me up the clucking wall. Nothing makes me angrier than people who refuse to care about others like this. I am with you, Emily. And it's what kind of drove me to do this today, because it's It's bad. This is their mentality. This is your family. Sorry, LV. He's shilling the same crap that all the crypto bros are selling. Interesting. You just know Caleb would tear apart your sister-in-law and her wife for their financial state because her partner isn't working, but her partner had severe mental health issues that are worsened by work. Yeah. Why can't she just go get a different job? Has she considered that? Like, you know, has she just thought about changing everything? Hello, Alistair. Oh, you hate this guy so much. He's shifted. He's changed something. He's getting worse. He's actively getting worse. And if he continues, maybe this won't be the last time I cover him. Honestly, his poor little red pill brain would probably break because there's 2 women in the relationship. How can he pick sides if he hates both of them? Oh, I can answer that for you. He just makes one of them a man. Yeah, there's always a female and a male in the relationship, and he'll pick one. And then make very inappropriate lesbian jokes. Because, yes, that's happened a lot. Yes, courses, app plus exploitative videos. Yes, good point. The only thing he doesn't have is crypto coin. And only because he's against it. But he does have loans. Does that count for anything? I feel like it should.
You will never experience stress like running a business.
I know. And
it is the most stressful. If you ever get employees, if you ever get anything, you will never experience stress higher than that. I've aged like
that's
10
why
years
I have
in
to
2
do
years.
something about like my flares. Like I have to.
All of a sudden, when it comes to her doing what she wants to do.
Wait, what? Your job wouldn't allow you to change cubicles? Because you couldn't sit there after getting the phone call about your son? Oh, yes. Getting into an accident. What does it matter changing cubicles? Ridiculous.
She can do something about her flares. But when it comes to her working a job, she can't work a job because of her flares.
Regardless. That's why, like, right now when I'm not working, that is what we're doing. I'm on the 2nd month of a new treatment that we're trying. I'm supposed to go to Mayo Clinic in July. I start with a new specialist next month.
Okay, so it's time to get a job after that then.
No. Listen to what she just said, though. She's going to the Mayo Clinic to get extra testing done to try and get a diagnosis. She's actively trying to get a handle on this. It's stressful not having the diagnosis and wondering what the clock is wrong with you. And what's worse is, like, the thing that I had to deal with was, you know, manifesting as chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia, right? Which is one thing, but she's getting symptoms that could absolutely lead your brain down a very devastating path, right? Like, some of that stuff is scary and could be something really bad. So she doesn't know if all of this is going to lead to her having 6-month life expectancy, and he's sitting there, but then it's time to get a job after that, right? I told you it was going to get worse.
Right. And that's my concern is, like, we're blowing through savings like crazy. This job, like, I appreciate.
Why are we going out to eat? Why was our going out to eat spending $500? Right.
No, he does have some fair criticisms. There are things here that need to be cut out. I do agree. But to be fair, the smoking of his would be at the top of my list, just based on how expensive that is. But he's just spent 42 minutes basically undermining and diminishing her entire experience in life, and has been mocking her and laughing at her crying. And this is the point that we're getting to. Yeah, why isn't he going after the smoking? I don't know, because that's normally something that he goes really hard on. Like I say, this is different. If you're a viewer of this channel, you know this episode is different for some reason. It's really bad. I think maybe he should have called in sick this day. It's not good. And you know, there are times I understand that he's got a beast that he needs to feed, and he's got an entire team of people that he needs to pay, and it's a whole thing. I get that, but like, different to my situation. I do understand that, but if I genuinely feel like I'm not in the headspace where I can deliver myself, I don't stream, right? It's just part of it, because it's not fair. And even as it is, like I said at the top of this stream, I'm not super proud about all of the content that I've been putting out. And I know that it's because I've been overworked and stressed. So I'm going to dial that back and fix it. Putting this out and putting this woman through this causes harm. And it's incalculable, because, like, how long do we know that what his shitty little voice is going to do inside her head? Oh, but she should just go get a job.
Because it needs
But
fixing.
let's cry about it. Yeah, keep touching.
Look at her. She's begging him with her eyes to just help her. Like, just stand up, be the man. You know, I don't like to play the gender card, but there is something worth noting as well, that there is a cultural thing that does or can make it more difficult for a woman to speak out against a man. I don't know if that's what she's experiencing here, but like, from personal experience and reading this situation, it just, you know, something about it just doesn't, I don't know, doesn't feel good at all. The guy strikes you as brain damage. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what about that just pushed me over the edge out of everything he's been doing, but I need to take a little breather. That's absolutely okay, Miriam. We're going to be finishing up soon anyway. He's about to get into the actual finances, but this is pretty much what I wanted to talk about today, so by all means, we can catch you on the next one.
That's gonna make this go better. Yeah. I think you guys got called in your shit for the first time in your life, because no one around you is willing to.
She's defeated. She's fully defeated. Watch her face and her body language.
Yeah, I don't really have very many people in my life, especially to call me out on my shit aside from her. And she does call me on my shit most of the time.
Yeah, like not doing the dishes.
Doing the
Stop with the dishes. Stop it.
dishes, keeping a job,
Well,
applying
keeping
for
a job, you should probably
jobs.
just be a f***ing adult. Yeah, that would be nice. I don't think that's her nagging or her being on your ass. I think you should just
No.
get a job and take care of the house like a f***ing adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's pretty pathetic not to. You guys said you have kids, right? Is that what I heard?
Yeah. They don't live
We
with
don't
us.
have
What's the
full
kids? How
custody
many
of them.
kids?
2, 5, and 6.
No, you said you have kids.
I have kids, yes.
You have kids, 5 and 6?
Mm-hmm.
You probably provide child support.
Yeah.
Okay, he's pretty much done with the part that I wanted to do, and he's going to get into their finances. Look, if you want to watch the rest of this, it is entitled, once again, The Biggest Losers Ever on Financial Audit. After seeing what you've seen, how does that title make you feel? I did want to have a little quick squizzy. Like, what if I, like, scroll all the way down? Because you know that they're going to be at the bottom. I'm looking for people calling him out. But he does have a really dedicated fan base, and I don't know if they delete comments or anything like that. I haven't bothered looking through his comment section, to be honest. Looks like people picking on her girl. There has been no running in that household. That's charming. It doesn't... Oh, I'd go a bit further. Nope. I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease in college, now 65, retired with retirement funds. I took the nasty meds to suppress my immune system and worked as a nurse for 43 years, even during painful flares. Take the meds and work, just don't sit at home on disability. Well, that's fair, but you've gotten a diagnosis in order to have meds. She's not there yet, and as a nurse, I would have thought that would be clear. Is it not? Final boss of victimhood. Yeah, no, they're being sycophants. I don't know. See, this is what I mean. Like, this is not just me though, right? You're not being my sycophants, are you? I'm scrolling down. Because people will be downvoting them because they're not agreeing with Caleb. Unpopular opinion, just having a job does not excuse you from household chores in the house you live in. Wow. Girl, you do nothing. What are you talking about? Oh, nice to be you with no adversity. That's what I have to say. Good for you. Yeah. He totally deletes any criticism. Sorry. Common, does he strike you as a guy who would handle any pushback? Not really. Not really. And he actually talks about his, quote, haters as well on his videos, so yeah. Calling meds nasty makes you squint. That's from a nurse too. I wonder if it's the same as with Keem. Yeah. That his fan base is very young. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. None of that feels really good. Let's stop looking at these people. Because they're just viewers. Yeah. But anyway, I appreciate you all putting up with my little break from Girl World. I just felt like, you know, it's been a lot, has it not? But I will return, don't worry. But I appreciate that you supported a little, you know, deviation and things like that. You've nearly finished the last one? Be quick, cramblings. Speedy cramblings. Not a lot of critical thinkers in the comment section, no. And like I say, his stuff didn't used to be like this. He's always roasted people, but you can see that there's a difference between, you know, laughing about people and teasing them and roasting them is different to what he did in this. This is not roasting. This was mocking. This was bullying. This was emotionally abusive. The whole place feels heavily moderated. It could be. Yeah, I don't know. Normally, when I look at things like this, like I know Rachel deletes comments because I've seen it happen, and we've seen Roz curate things, but I haven't looked at his closely enough to know if it's happening for sure. Sent. Where is? Why are we bringing roosters into this? What does this mean, Cramblings? I love that toilet one though. Oh my gosh. Yes, this is like, yes. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for chatting and lurking. I've seen you there. I appreciate you. Thank you so much to all my mods who are in here helping out today as well. Thank you. And a big thank you to all of the replay nuggets as well. I appreciate each and every one of you. But for now, that is all the clocks I have left to give, and thank goodness. Stay gold, my little nuggets, and I'll catch you next time.